Nate, we made it, bro. 1 year since we started this podcast, man. 365 days, man. And guys, just letting you know a quick little backstory. When I first started this podcast, I was just like, you know what? I just need an outlet where I can just get off talking about golf all the time. And I found myself always talking about golf with one specific person, and it was Nate. And when I first started the podcast, I was just like, yo, you know what? I'm going to have Nate to be the first guest, just the first guest. And then I'll just, kind of go Colin Coward or whatever by myself. And we got good feedback from people like, yo, you and Nate have great chemistry. And I was like, Nate, you want to come on? You want to come on again and come on again? And Nate just kept going. And we just kind of made it with both of us, man. So 365 days since we've been doing this. Well, we were talking about the PGA Championship, which is what we're going to be talking about today, man. So it's been super awesome. And we appreciate the ones who have been watching and supporting us and liking and subscribing and sharing, man. We're super grateful, man. But we got a great show today. If you're back, thanks for returning. But if you're new here, my name is Jeremy Davis. I'm a former NFL player, and I'm a host of the best YouTube golf show out there, Golf and Gospel. You can check all that out at golfandgospel.com. And also, we have your PT's favorite PT, the former Nebraska Cornhusker golfer, my boy Nate Wong. And we got a special guest coming on today, man. He played on the PGA Tour. He was a Korn Ferry champion, and he's a Golf and Gospel alum. So, hey, if you want to put those context clues together and figure out what it is, then try to figure it out. But we got a really good one who's going to have a little bit more better insight because he was in the field, unlike me and Nate, because we didn't make it to the PGA Tour. Anyways, guys, we just wanted to remind you, please tap in with Golf and Gospel podcast on all podcast platforms. We're available everywhere you listen, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, and Amazon, and plenty more. Be sure to download, subscribe, and stay connected with us. And if you enjoy this episode, don't forget to share it with somebody. Also, we're on X. I keep thinking we're Shadow Band on X, but prove me wrong. Go follow us on X, on Golf and Gospel podcast, on Twitter, X, whatever. And also, guys, if you think we're trash and we're horrible, let us know. Which I do appreciate the ones who are kind of picky, like, oh, you said this word without using a comma or as a run-on sentence. Like, I appreciate that feedback. But if we're doing well, encourage us, uplift us. Please, again, comment, like, subscribe, do all those things. Hey, let's jump straight into it. We're going to recap the Myrtle Beach real quick, man. Brent Snedeker claims his 10th career PGA Tour victory at Myrtle Beach Classic. His first win since 2018, the Wyndham Championship. So shout out to Brent Snedeker. But the one we were all tuned into this week was the other signature event, the Truist, man. Kristoffer Reitan, I hope I'm saying that right, gets his first PGA Tour win at a signature event like the Truist. Nate, please let me know, what were your thoughts on the Truist this weekend?
Chris was bought, man. Lots of thoughts. Alex really wanted him to win. He had a very roller coaster day on Sunday. He had the lead going in, got like a double and then a bogey, and then was like, all right, they stopped showing him on TV. That's how bad he was playing. They stopped showing him on TV. Unfortunately. And then he made a few birdies, played right back in. Like, he was tied for the lead right around 12, 13, if I recall correctly. And then effed up on hole 17, got a double there. And Chris had a perfect tee shot. And they're all like, dude, this guy's taking a driver? Are you sure you want to take a driver? Hits a perfect tee shot. And then was just, there's like Jim Nantz saying he's playing defense at that point. So,
I think he's the type of guy's like, I have nothing to lose. Kristoffer had nothing to lose.
Dude, he was barely, I think he was like an alternate going into this weekend.
We might have to check that. He was. That's crazy.
They were saying stuff. They were saying how like he barely got in when he got in. It practically an alternate.
Yeah.
So if he's not an alternate, he's practically an alternate.
Yes.
But good job, Chris.
It was a great job, man. I think he didn't have a PGA Tour win. He had a couple European wins, and it's crazy. I'm texting Nate, and I'm just like, bro, like, who is this guy? Like, I've seen his name, but I never really focused on him. And you reminded me, like, man, he was doing well at the Phoenix Open in the beginning of the year. Like, he was a guy floating around those top 10, and I just never really like honed in on him. And what an incredible win for him. And like I said, I don't want to digress from him and take the space away from him, because this is a huge win. The Truist is a signature event. That does a lot for you down the line, man. And no one, like I put this on our X, man, like, no one had on their bingo card, hey, you think Kristoffer's going to win this tournament? No shot. He comes out here, plays very well, hits a great shot on 18, which is a drivable par 4, which a lot of guys made mistakes. Sung J M went in the water. I believe Alex made a little mistake on there. Ricky Fowler, bro.
Dude,
he hit some
he hit some amazing shots, but then he also just like what happened
last
at the
hole
end?
He duffed his chip, and then had to putt the safe par, missed it, got bogey. I said, respectfully, like typical Ricky, bro. And again, I say this stuff because we want it for Ricky. And
yes,
like,
dude.
bro,
Yes.
Yeah, he hasn't won since I think he won 2023. He won in Detroit, in Motor City.
So didn't he
I'm
win the Truist like back in the day?
I'm sure he did.
They're showing like, dude, and there was like a birdie opportunity on 16, 15. No, not 15.
Yes, bro.
And then it was like he was tied with Alex. I forgot about that. It was like he was like 6 feet. It was and it just didn't even hit the hole. Yeah, didn't even hit the hole. Missed it left. That's right, dude.
Bro.
I forgot about Ricky, dude.
Bro, my feelings were hurt super bad, bro. I mean, I know this for sure builds on his confidence in regards to finishing
for sure.
What was it, top
like
three,
fourth? I don't know. Yeah,
top three, because I think Alex ended up unfortunately being like third because he went 12 under. But man, it's just what Ricky was going through. He started off kind of hot during the season, and then he took that break, knowing he wasn't in the top 50 in the Masters, and then he kind of went through a little slump. But now it looks like Ricky can probably be picking it up again. What were you gonna say?
He got second T2 with Hobart.
Yeah, bro.
Because Alex made a bogey on 17 or double on 17. So
and that's when he did that. Yes, and Ricky was the clubhouse leader, and I'm just like, okay, you know what? You don't want to bank on someone messing up, but he needed Alex and Reitan to mess up to maybe force a playoff with Reitan and then Alex to jump ahead of him, which he did, but unfortunately finished with the T2. So, but again, man, I mean, shout out to Kristoffer Reitan, man, gets his first PGA Tour win since the Truist. First win at the Truist, excuse me. And hopefully we can see a lot more of him. He moves up to 13, the FedEx Cup points, man.
I know, dude.
Probably obviously
that's
the best
crazy.
position he's ever been in, which was which is great. And he's probably someone we might have to look out for. And this is the thing I've been liking about the PGA Tour too, man. It hasn't been predictable at all. Scottie hasn't been winning like that. You never know who's gonna win.
No, dude.
Obviously, Cam
we
Young
had these no picking Scottie rule, and then now it's like I think he's back on the table.
Yeah, now I think we can pick Scottie this week because last year, the year before, was always like, we're not going to pick him because it's like most likely he's going to win. It's not fun. But now we're to the point. It's like, maybe I will pick Scottie. But we know so far this year the dominant golfers have been Cam Young and Matt Fitzpatrick. And that's not to say that Scottie's not dominant because, again, you guys are sensitive anytime I say anything about Scottie. Some of y'all were butthurt about my comment about Scottie last week. But, I mean, it feels like the people who are leading right now are obviously Cam Young, Matt Fitzpatrick, and Scottie's right there, and Roy's going to be here. And we got my guy, probably one of the better golf displays episodes on Golf and Gospel, the show that you guys should go check out. Former Korn Ferry champion, PGA Tour player, my dog, Brent Grant, dog. What's up, bro?
What's up, Brent?
Hear me loud and clear?
Hear you great, man. Super happy to have you here. I'm actually playing in a scramble tomorrow with Brent, so I'm probably be the lesser talent of us, but I can't wait to just fellowship with my dog and just rock out that talking stick, man. But Brent, we're going to get in straight into some golf before we talk about obviously everything with you in regards to golf. If y'all want to learn more about Brent, once again, go check him out at golfandgospel.com. But Brent, we're here to break down the PGA Championship. Par 70, 7,394 yards. In 2010, it was ranked the fourth toughest course on the PGA Tour, and it looks like it's a link-style type of golf course. But we always do this, man. 3 predictions, who you think is going to win, and then 2 dark horses. And there's our guest, Brent. We'll love to know who will be your first pick to possibly win the PGA Championship. But I'm going to let y'all know now, when we get into these live conversations, Brent got some takes. He got some takes.
It's Aronimik, right? Is that the course?
Yeah, yep.
Yeah, so it's
have you played it?
I've never been. No, I know a couple of guys. Guy who caddied for me actually for a couple of years. Been out there a bunch. He's a Philly native. Told me a lot about it. But I mean, obviously it's a major, so you know you want to look towards the top players. Obviously, you can kind of sense that based off of how they played this week, that they probably weren't necessarily hyper focused, but. Yeah, I'm obviously. I'd love to see Scottie get it done. So he's my number one.
It's funny, Brent. It's funny, Brent, because we used to have a no Scottie rule. Because last year and the year before, it's like, well, he's always going to have a chance to win, so it's no fun because it doesn't force you to think. And I said this year, he's on the table because he's not really, I won't say he's not dominating, but he only won the American Express. So, you know, I'm not mad at the Scottie pick. I'll go with my next pick real fast. I got Tommy Fleetwood, man. He shot the course record 62 here twice in 2018, has yet to win a major. You kind of hope this is the one where he takes off and kind of solidifies like all the rumbles of like, all right, he's won on the PGA Tour, but can now he win a major? And it sucks because we didn't let that honeymoon phase drag out long for him to enjoy like I'm a PGA Tour winner. Now it's like, all right, man, you won. When you gonna get a major? It's like I just won, man. Like let me enjoy this. So I'm hoping Tommy Fleetwood can get it done at the PGA Championship. Nate, who you got for your first pick?
Dude, you guys took two of my picks. Like I had Fleetwood and Scottie on it, but if Scottie doesn't have a bad Thursday, I think he's going to win. And the other thing, too, is he didn't play this week. So he might be taking a page out of Rory's playbook and going to Aronimik and going to Philly.
He's sneaking off there.
And, trying to – I mean, I think there are rules and stuff like that, but I don't know if Scottie's trying to, you know, get some early notes in and stuff like that. So,
I think I saw a photo of Shane Lowry already there, so I don't know if it's as – strict as like, and Brent probably knows more. I don't think it's as strict as the Masters or Augusta.
No, it's not. Nope,
yeah,
not
so you can just go. Yeah. So I saw Shane Lowry already there, kind of teeing it up.
Oh, dude. So
right now.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
Michael
see what
Block?
we can do. Yeah. We can see if you can finish T15 again like you did 3 years ago.
Like if you think about it, I mean, it fits a Rosie pretty well, I think. Obviously.
I don't know about those new clubs though, man. Those Macklemores, that what are they called? Or whatever.
Barons?
Yeah,
they're like
I don't know.
They're like $300 an iron, dude.
Yeah, well, I mean, when did he switch to those? Because whatever he was playing with,
like 2 weeks ago.
Well,
yeah, it was recent.
Yeah, I know, man.
Let's take that pick off.
Because I would love to pick him too until like I saw he got those new clubs. Right, and it's like, man, why are you tinkering right now? What are we doing? Like,
he's been that way for a long time though. Because even when he left TaylorMade, the reason why he left TaylorMade is because I think it was like the CEO or VP or somebody big name guy went to Honma, and that kind of started this, you know, weird up and down deal with Rose and his golf clubs, and then I guess whatever he's doing right now obviously wasn't working.
Now he's on McLaren.
Right. I forgot the three pros that are using it. Him, Ian Poulter, and this one more person. I can't remember off. It might be an LPGA player. But yeah, we're gonna get Ian Poulter. But yeah, that was only my only hesitation with Justin Rose because since he's been playing with those, it hasn't been clicking yet. Now, can he strike lightning in the bottom of the PGA Championship? Absolutely. But right now, because he tinkered too soon, not too long ago, it's like I'm afraid to pick him, man.
I agree with that.
Yeah.
I'd probably go. Brooks is up there for sure.
Like it.
He's in form.
Okay.
Finished T11th this week at the Myrtle Beach Classic.
At Myrtle Beach.
He's back. He's competing with the best players in the world, and that's a dangerous place to be.
Yeah.
I'd say, let's see, you said 3 and a dark horse or 2, right?
Well, yeah. We typically go one pick, and then I'll go, then Nate will go. So I'll go myself. Yes, take your time. Yeah. So yeah.
Bro,
Yeah, so I'm gonna go with the lefty, Robert McIntyre, because I've seen this course is on the heavier side with the par fours. I believe they have 12 par fours here, and he's second in par four scoring. So that's where I'm going. That's my angle. I'm gonna go with Robert McIntyre. Obviously, he didn't play well at the Masters. He claimed he had a neck injury. I'm under the impression that neck injury has ceased at this point, quote unquote. I don't know if he was saying that as a cop out. But I'm going to say Robert McIntyre shows up here. And we see what he can do. Obviously, we saw him at the BW Championship last year playing really well. Unfortunately, he had Scottie coming from behind, ended up beating him and stuff. But Robert McIntyre is capable, and I think this course fits his style of play. So a lot of dog legs too, man. So I like Robert McIntyre this week.
Okay. I think that's a great pick, dude. He's a good putter. And I think putting is going to be a key stat because – from what I understand, those greens are have a lot of undulation in it. So I think lag putting is going to be important. And I think long iron play is going to be important. So my second pick is going to be Colin because he's number 1 in long iron green regulation. So I guess that's green regulation on 200 yards plus.
Yeah.
But wait, what does that mean?
Can't putt, man.
I feel like he's putting well this year.
He's putting better. I'll say he's putting.
He's putting better.
Man.
Yeah.
He's putting better this year.
But he can strike. Yeah, that's true. He can strike lightning in the bottle too, like he did at Pebble Beach, because that was I was surprised.
But even at the Masters, he was putting really well, and those are undulating greens too.
Even with his back injury, he was playing so good.
So
I hope he can find that momentum he had. I hope he can find that momentum he had. Brent, what's your third?
Man, you know what?
Got Scottie and Brooks.
Yeah, you know what? I like Rory for my third pick.
Yeah, if this is his new regiment, this will be crazy if he wins PGA Championship, because he's going to get even more cocky.
I think the idea that it's a golf course, like you said, it moves a lot. He obviously loves to move the golf ball if he wants to. He's also, I mean, the biggest problem with Rory, honestly, is that you never know where his ego's at, right? So walking into the Masters, everybody and their dog was on the guy's jock, and that's why he got there. He did what he did and walked away with it. Hell, the guy probably should have won by another 3 to 5 shots, but his short game was amazing that week. It's pretty clear his putting has come around drastically.
Scrambling was good too. Yeah, his driver was so wayward.
Yeah,
chipped it on 17.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, if he can drive it the way he needs to, but the way I know he can, I think he wins. He wins by 2 or 3, especially if Scottie doesn't get it done.
If Scottie has a slow start Thursday,
has a regular Thursday,
he shoots even or 2 over, and then shoots 600 the next 3 days, and gets second again.
Depending on how firm it is, man, I don't know how low they're going to go. 60.
Yeah, we'll see how they do it
out there.
We'll see how they do it with the majors, because they definitely dry it up and firm it up a little bit more.
I feel like the PGA Championship. I feel like the PGA Championship is one of the majors where the kind of scoring is high. Like, remember we were looking at the stats, and when Xander won, he won 21 under, and then but they switch courses though.
It's
so
more
forgiving. It could have just been Quail Hollow, and this can be something totally different.
Quail
at this
got
course.
soft, and the moment if it's been a weird winter up there too, but it hasn't been a very wet one, so I don't. Man, if it's firm out there, good luck.
Yeah. I like that. I'm going to go with the best golfer on LIV who shows up every major. I'm going with Tyrell Hatton. You cannot. Right. No.
That's fine.
Trust me.
I'm excited to talk about LIV with this guy, bro.
No, trust me. I'm not picking Rom. I'm not picking Bryson or anything like that.
Okay, good.
No, them 3D prints and you're chipping with a 60 degree that's the size of a 6-iron. I'm not going with that. But Tyrell Hatton has been super consistent in the major since going back to last year. Now I'm a little shaky because the only major he didn't play in well last year was a PGA Championship. I think he finished 60. But outside of that, he was always like top 10, top 15 in majors, and he just showed his showing at the Masters, finished at T3. So he doesn't really show it on LIV. Maybe he's like, okay, well, I'm just tuning up at LIV to play well in the majors. Yeah. So I like Tyrell Hatton. Like Tyrell Hatton, man. Nate, who's your third before we get into our dark horses?
All right. So my third was Fleetwood, and I'm just gonna give my justification.
Okay, please.
So it looks like historically, like last year, he sucked on day 4. This year, it looks like he stinks on day 3.
That's Xander's problem too.
Yeah, but anyways, I think he showed a little promise this weekend on day 3. I think he had a decent day 3. He shot 70. So, if he just doesn't suck on day 3 and doesn't move down, I think he'll be okay. He's got just the best stats everywhere, except for putting, but 10th in driving accuracy, 4th in strokes gained around the green, so scrambling. We saw a little bit of that today. And then 8th in tee to green. So, if he could just string together 4 great rounds. And honestly, his strokes gained putting is like fine. But then his day 4 is like red. Yeah, everything is so like, day 3 is red.
That was my fear for him last year when this come down to the end of the Tour Championship between him and Cantlay. It's like, man, how well is he going to putt on Sunday? And then I think it was like hole 13, Cantlay missed the right, and so did Fleetwood, but Fleetwood recovered way better than Cantlay, and then that's what created a little bit of separation between them. Yeah. Let's go to our first dark horse pick. We got 2 of them. Brent, who do you got?
It's weird to say this, One, because I know him so well, and two, he's been playing great. But Cam Young is my first dark horse for sure.
Okay.
I mean,
Yeah.
he should be in everybody's top three. But the
For sure.
reason, I mean, likely the reason why he's not is because it just feels like it's one of those years where it's going to be the big names. But he is one.
He is one now.
Yeah, now he is. Yeah.
We'll talk about the issues with the optics behind the players and stuff like that. I mean, look at whoever won. I can't even pronounce the name of the guy who won.
Kristoffer Reitan, I believe.
Reitan? Yeah.
Sweet.
Yeah. I don't
Awesome.
know. Reitan?
Not even sure where he came from. Not sure if he has tour
He was on the
status.
European tour. Yeah.
He's rookie. Yeah.
Yeah, he was in contention.
Norway
a few
to
times
North Carolina.
Right.
Showed up out
Jim
of
Nantz said.
nowhere.
Out of nowhere.
Got his top 10 DP World Tour, even though he probably never even showed up last year on TV. Shows up out of nowhere and wins.
Yeah.
So
And he
I
wins,
like
man.
Cam Young for my dark horse.
Yeah. That's what me and Nate were saying. We love it so much this year because you cannot predict who's going to win.
Oh.
Like the last year was always like, all right, it's going to be Scottie or Rory at that point because I think Scottie would have 5 wins last year and then Rory had 3. And you're just like, same old, same old. This year it's like Kristoffer Reitan. Oh, shoot. Matt Fitzpatrick finally figured something out. Someone who couldn't win in the years prior.
Gary
Cam Young's
Woodland.
Gary Woodland gets one in Houston.
Yeah.
Chris Goddard wins early twice on the Sunny Open and the Phoenix Open. You just don't know, man. So, yeah, man. But my first dark horse pick, I'm going with Patrick Cantlay. And my reason is because 6 of his 7 individual career wins have been on bent grass. And this course is bent grass, man. He often dominates with this putter at venues like this. He did it at TPC Craig Ranch and at the BMW Championship, which was there in 2019. And when Cantlay got his best finish at the PGA Championship at Bethpage, those greens were bent grass. So a bit of a reach for sure, but it's a dark horse pick. I'm not selling my house on him, but I think if we can see like a 2022 Patrick Cantlay, like we saw at the Phoenix Open that year when it came down to him and Scottie, or a Ryder Cup Cantlay, I like it. I like
True.
it. But
Ryder
it's dark
Cup
horse
Cantlay's
level.
dangerous.
Yeah, just take your hat off and play golf, man.
All right. My dark horse, and this is inspired by Chris Reitan, is because so my guy is such a dark horse. He's the first alternate, but I'm gonna go with Sundarsan. Yeah, let's go. We're gonna pick a guy out of nowhere.
Yeah.
But yeah, dude, his
Canadian.
stats are
The left-handed Canadian. Yeah, how you say his name again?
Canadian guy, Sundarsan Yelamaraju. I know it's
Sudarshan.
Sudarshan.
Yeah, Sudarshan. Yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you.
The Corn Tour. Yeah.
Yes.
Seriously.
Yeah, he's a good player.
That's it.
He's a young man though. But
Yeah.
He's young?
Yeah.
But wait, what do you think about his game? Have you seen it up close?
Oh yeah, I've seen it very much up close. I mean, he's a good hard worker. I mean, the biggest challenge for guys like that is, do they work themselves too much and make too much of the moment? Obviously, he's first of all, I hope he gets in. But he's one of those guys where if he gets hot, he's feeling himself and everything's good, the ego's where it needs to be, and so on and so forth, he's fine. But if there is a mental block, which there can be at majors, it just doesn't get it done.
Well, we're hoping he doesn't have a mental block, and we're hoping he gets into the field.
Yeah, I just remember at Sawgrass, he was locked in. Granted, like other moments in the year, like he would be 5th and then drop to 30th. I think the last 2 finishes, he was like right around 30th. So I don't know if that describes a mental block. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Or if it's just golf,
Yeah,
but
it's just golf. He's young. He's like 24, 25, something like that.
Yeah. And he said he skipped college because he couldn't afford it. But I'm like, bro, with that talent, you couldn't get a scholarship? I'm just
Maybe.
I mean, I don't know how Canadian golf works, but or if people from the States didn't want him, but he's playing incredible golf, man. But let's get to our last dark horse pick. Brent, be on you.
Last dark horse, Gary Woodland, because I love him.
Yeah, man. Yeah,
That's
he's
my
a
guy.
great guy.
good
man.
tee.
Great guy.
Get off the tee, dude. So
Always
Big
phenomenal.
hitter off
He's
the
a
tee.
great putter.
helps in majors. Yeah.
Big time, man. My last pick, man, I'm going with Brooks Koepka, man. I'm seeing that every 3 to 4 years he wins it. 2019 he won, 2023 he won. Granted, he did win in 2018, but I like to go with recent trends, and he just finished with a T11th at the Myrtle Beach Classic. And I remember me and Nate challenged him. I think he finished pretty well, like at the Kaizen, and we're like, okay, cool, it's a good finish, but like the field wasn't that threatening. I think he came back the following week at I forgot which tournament it was. I don't remember which tournament it was, but he came and he balled out. and he proved us wrong. And then at the Masters, he finished at T12. So Brooks is starting to find his groove again. I think the tour is starting to accept him because obviously he just left the Saudi-backed tour, as Brandon Champ like to say. But I like Brooks to kind of, get things figured out here. So, guys, let us know your thoughts in the comments, man. Who do you like to win the PGA Championship, man? The second major of the 2026 season. But I want to move over here, man. So, DJ Dustin Johnson gets into the field through a special exemption. What are your expectations for Dustin Johnson? Mind you, the 4 Aces just won today. Not Dustin Johnson, but the 4 Aces won today.
There you go, Brent.
Carried by Anthony Kim, though.
Yeah, I was going to say.
Dude, he shot like 9 under.
What are my expectations of Dustin Johnson?
Yeah, I would love to hear it.
First of all, it doesn't even make any sense that he's in the field. Let
Yellow Maraju in, dude.
Right.
Well, let's be honest here. PGA can do what they want to do, I guess, but also at the same time, it's like hasn't shown up at all.
So, what he finished with the Masters, he finished 30th at the Masters this year.
Was it 30th? Yeah.
I think so.
Did he make the cut?
I admire Dustin Johnson greatly. His work ethic is amazing. He's by far and away, or at least before he went to LIV, was the most consistent player on the PGA Tour for 15 years.
He was so good, man.
And at the end of the day, if he doesn't need it, and that's something that is a factor that nobody really talks about, but also is 100% factual. He doesn't need it. And so the drive to quote unquote win majors and have a legacy, the guy's got $1 billion in the bank between him and Paulina. So who cares?
Yeah. Right.
He'll probably show
up. You think that hinders his? You think that hinders his aggression to win, though?
100%, without a doubt. I
hate that. I feel like he lost it a while ago. I totally agree.
Yeah. He's almost 50. His kids are getting to the age where he's got to be more present, way more present.
Yeah, because LIV, you can't do that.
And he's been traveling a bunch, and not to mention the fact that his world is getting ready to change drastically again. Despite how separated you want to keep yourself, you signed a contract with a company that just basically lost all of their funding.
Right.
Which means the rest of your season is completely in flux. And he might be nonchalant, but I can guarantee you everybody around him is not. And so that takes a toll. I hope he plays great because I love him and I think he's a great player. And,
for sure.
And again, most consistent player in the last 15, 20 years. But so I don't have any expectations.
Yeah, I just hope he doesn't abuse the opportunity because, like I said, a guy like, I can't say his name, Yellow. I'm just calling
Sudarshan.
Sudarshan, man. He's a guy that's hungry, young guy who deserves that opportunity. Not to say that Dustin doesn't, but it's like, man, don't go in there and abuse the time and just kind of be nonchalant. But his best finish at the Masters this year was T33. And he was playing well at one point, but I think he ended up finishing even that last day, which got him to T33. But I just don't want him to abuse the opportunity he has to play at the PGA Championship when that's guys like, what's your thoughts, Nate?
Dude, I'm looking at it right now. He missed 3 out of the 4 cuts last year at all the majors.
Yep.
And
he missed the last 2 PGA Championships in the last 2 years.
Yeah, and then this year, you just said he got 30th. At first, when he first went to LIV and he would come back and play the majors, I had big expectations, dude. I felt like it was like last week when I saw him go head to head with Jon Rahm, and it's like Jon Rahm makes a big putt, he makes a big putt on top of it. It was a double breaker that was like 90 feet. It was very impressive, and he was the guy that locked in. Now he's just some old golfer that's sticking around. Yeah, now he's just some guy that's like sticking around at family dinners, and we're like, hey, dude, thanks for being here, but stop falling asleep while we're trying to watch, Thanksgiving football, So
that's well put,
dude. But he was one of my favorite guys, man, because he was like stone cold, like literally never let the moment affect him.
Except for that one time. There was that one time when he went
which one?
At the U.S. Open.
Yeah. Oh yeah, the U.S. Open. But dude, other times, man, it was like huge moments, just
stone cold. Yeah,
stone cold, and it was so cool, so fun to watch. And now the expectations are like 0.
Yeah. Well, we'll see if he can prove us wrong because we know every PGA Tour player and LIV player listens to Golf and Gospel podcast. This is not LIV related, but I was pretty surprised to see this, man. What are our thoughts on Scottie Scheffler committing to playing the 3M Open? I thought that was very random. And that's what I'm thinking too, man, financially. And it's like Scottie doesn't really need it. And then at first I'm thinking too, like, maybe he's just itching for a win. He know that field's not going to be that strong. I can go there and easily win. But at the same time, just like, man, are you truly going to play in it? Because a lot of guys are exhausted after coming back from the Open, and they kind of want time off to go get ready for the FedEx Cup playoffs. Oh, I mean, yeah, will that bring out a lot? Yeah, for sure, man. But I really feel like with his personality, man, he's a guy that's like, I'm routine. Like, no, I don't play in this. I get ready for the FedEx Cup, so I'm very surprised. That's why my first mindset was like, man, he's so hungry for a win, he's going to play in the 3M Open. Now, granted, there are plenty of tournaments before this where he could still capture win, like the PGA Championship, but the U.S. Open, the Open. But I'm just like, why are you committing to 3M Open that's all the way down in what, July? Was very, very surprised. But I have two friends that live on the course. I think at hole 13. They said they're stoked. They just hope he doesn't back out last minute. But that's definitely going to be a crowd there in Minnesota now.
Oh yeah.
Go ahead, Brent.
Well, that's the whole point. I mean, that's spot on. I mean, the entire ideal behind players, kind of showing up in different spots is that 3M is obviously a gigantic company. I mean, they've been around forever. So if they want to snap their fingers and make something happen, they can. The other side of this is that at the end of the day, it's a business. If the entire optics that center around Minneapolis, Minnesota are focused on all the BS politics that people want to play, right? That's fine. But the 3M Open is about the 3M Open. So if they can bring in a player like Scottie, it probably costs them a quarter, if not a half. But when he does show up, that may or may not attract players to come and play. And then what ends up happening is they may or may not stay on the schedule next year. As we all know, that is in completely, I mean, nobody has any idea what's going on next year as far as the rest of the schedule. We know the first part of the schedule is pretty much shot at this point. But a tournament like 3M is a wonderful golf course. It's a TPC. They put on a great show. It's obviously it's in a beautiful place. Yeah. And it's a ginormous, world-renowned conglomerate sponsor that, like I said, can move mountains if it wants to. So Scottie's, I'm sure, more than happy to take a check and give it to his church or give it to a charity that he wants to do or put it in his kid's college fund.
Yeah. Wow. Like that take. Really good take, man. All right, we're going to move over to, obviously, the Saudi-backed tour. Well, not anymore. So they're still trying to find, got new investors and stuff like that. But just want to speak about Lucas Herbert wins the Virginia tournament, solidifying his spot in the U.S. Open, going wire to wire, won by 4 strokes. But there's so much more that's going on to LIV, and I want to start off with this. So, sticking with the PGA Championship, there are 11 LIV golfers in the field. Give me a guy you think can actually make some noise. And here are the golfers. You got John Rahm, Bryson DeChambeau, Tyrell Hatton, Joaquin Niemann finally getting his debut in his first major, Thomas Gentry, Dustin Johnson, Cam Smith, David Puig, Tom McKibben, Elvis Smiley, and Martin Kamer. Which one of these guys you think can actually make some noise? Starting off with you, Brent.
Well, Joaquin had that major breakdown actually at the PGA.
T8 last year. Yeah, T8 last year.
Right. But also, no, he had some terrible, like on 16 or 17 coming down the stretch before he went to LIV, but whatever. So he's been there before, but unfortunately he is, he's been playing on the LIV with zero competition, so I don't know how good of a closer he's become. But
that was his issue last year. He had 5 wins at LIV, but it never transferred over to the majors, except the PGA Championship where he got 8th.
Yeah, I mean, proof's in the pudding, right? So, listen, I mean, he's a great player, obviously, but at the end of the day, I truly would love to see Rahm play well. I mean, I know the guy personally. He's obviously a Scottsdale guy. He's a phenomenal player. I hope and pray that he comes back to the PGA Tour because it would make it that much of a better environment.
Yes.
And he's world class. He's top 5 player in the world as far as I'm concerned. So I'd love to see him get it done. At least play well.
Okay, wow, top five player
Yes.
in the world, man. I like going against the grain. I don't like kind of picking the obvious, man. I have a strange feeling Thomas Gentry's going to do something here.
Dietrich,
He's coming off his best finish at Hong Kong, and I
I
think his
can't
last three
believe he
finishes
played
on
Liv.
Live. Yeah, absolutely. Oh yeah, I know, right? Someone had to replace the great Patrick Reed, man. I
That's
believe he finished.
ridiculous.
Yeah, his last three finished T3, T5, and I believe he finished T8 in Virginia. But granted, I know the greens might be different in live golf courses versus the PGA Tour, but Akshay Bhatia is currently leading in putting average at 1.67. Thomas Gentry is at 1.59, so I think that can be his separator maybe. Hey man,
Great player.
Yes.
Phoenix Open legend.
That's right. Won the
First
Phoenix
Belgian
Open.
player to, yeah.
Yeah, yeah. He played. He came
Yeah.
out of nowhere on the Korn Ferry, came out of nowhere on the PGA Tour, and then decided to disappear, go collect a check.
Yeah, he did. He did. Nate, who you got of those 11 again? John Ron, Bryson Shambo, Tyrell Hatton, Joaquin Neiman, Thomas Gentry, Dustin Johnson, Cam Smith, David Puig, Tom McKibben, Elvis Smiley, and Martin Kamer.
Dude, I mean, it's hard not to pick between Rahm and Terrell Hatton because they usually do well. Like John Rahm did really well last year.
He did, yeah. He
Was
right
tied
there.
with Scottie for a little bit, but he went through like the easy part, and then Scottie still had like hole 14, which was like a birdie hole.
Yeah.
So people got a little ahead of themselves. They're like, "Oh, John Rahm's to lose," and I'm like, "Yeah, but Scottie's got a few easy holes left, you know."
Yeah.
And John Rahm still had like that hard stretch left to go. So
I know.
anyways, but I don't know. I kind of want to see Cam Smith do well. So
What luck. I think we talked about this plenty of time. I think I've made a take, Brent. I might send it to you later, bro. I literally said I don't believe that Liv makes a player worse, and I'll send you that video later. But however, he is an exception. He's the only one I think has digressed the worst going to a new league. Now, again, we've talked about this. There are players on the PGA Tour who've regressed. Jordan Spieth's regressed. Max Homa's regressed.
Certainly.
Tony Finau's regressed. But the Cam Smith needs to be studied, bro, because he was like, "Oh, I'm a major threat." Like Tony Finau, Max Homa, even Spieth lately, they never ever, since lately, haven't been like major threats. Cam Smith was always a major threat.
Cam Smith
he was
was-
like top. He was like top 5 in the Masters. Go ahead, Brent. I feel you. What you got cooking?
No. I love that. The story around the water cooler is literally, he was telling his friends that if he won the British and the Players, he was going to retire, and he did both of
Really?
those. And then it just so happened that the LIV Tour scooped him up. I mean, the whole point of even though he may or may not be eligible to come back to the PGA Tour, he literally said he wouldn't because it fits his lifestyle better.
Yeah, because he's close to home and stuff.
Yeah, and so, I mean, it was years ago that he said it, and then he ended up doing it, and then he disappeared. And so, I mean, the guy parties, the guy fishes, and he just likes to play some golf every now and then. So, I mean, I wouldn't say necessarily the LIV Tour makes people worse, but it certainly does not provide an avenue to get exponentially better the way that the PGA Tour does.
Yeah, it doesn't incentivize a drive. Like it doesn't incentivize. Yeah, I kind of think that's what you were saying about DJ too, man. Like DJ and Cam Smith were the two guys. Like the moment rarely affected them, and now it's just
my whole thought
just don't show up now. But
my whole thought was like you kind of seen DJ kind of digressing. Cam, we didn't see that. We saw you progressing. But then it's like we had Chris, you know Chris P. Fish, Brent? He's on the Korn Ferry. Yeah. So we've had Chris P. Fish on, and he kind of said, man, we didn't need to look at dated golf like, was Cam Smith really going to be the next project like we think, or did he already peak? And I thought that was a good conversation that we had at the time because we had this expectation like, man, he just won all this, like he's the next one.
P. Fish said, he doesn't have a swing.
What if that was his peak and he's done? And we had this expectation that he's going to continue to do this. And like for the most part, when he came back on the majors from LIV, like I said, he was finishing like top 5 in like every major. And then you had this dramatic fall off. Now, granted, I don't know if he was going through an injury or swing change because they're not as advertised as much as like Max Homa. We knew he was going through a swing change. Jordan Spieth, neck, wrist, all that. Tony Finau, I don't know. I don't know what's going on with Finau. But like, we kind of just mentally, yeah. I mean,
probably,
His team finished like I think top 30 this week at the Truist, but I don't think he should be getting these sponsor exemptions. I'm like, man, Tony, he's not. You know,
hanging on.
I like Finau.
We'll get into that.
Yeah, let me go, man. But All right, so this is what struck up a conversation between me and Brent, and me and Brent do talk. But man, this new social media policy now, players can now post 3 minutes of content from competition days. It was 2, 6 shots from their broadcast per round was 1, 8 minutes of highlights on YouTube, 72 hours after the event ends was 5, and 120 minutes of total highlights on their channel was 60. Players can also now receive ad revenue from videos with practice round footage. Tour still collects ad revenue for footage with competition round footages. And I had the question, was this put in place for Bryson's return, or just because the increase of player branding and social media, or is it something else? And Brent, I'm going to give you the floor because this is what kicked off everything.
Yeah, I saw that post and I was just kind of. Anyways, no. So I mean, obviously, I'll lay it out this way. Just kind of keep it as succinct as possible. The basic fundamental misconception is that the PGA Tour in and of itself is this kind of profit sharing, everybody's making a ton of money kind of thing, and the players are involved with business decisions and so on and so forth. And the PGA Tour is really just this charitable organization that just kind of floats along and just kind of does whatever they got to do.
They want to seem that way, but
Completely, and never has been the case ever.
Yeah.
First off, they're a 501c3, which means they're a not-for-profit, which is different than a 501c6, which is like your Red Cross or Blue Cross, whatever. Like your
NCAA's 501c3. Yeah.
There you go. 501, exactly. So the USGA, I always make this joke. I missed the boat about 25 years ago when I should have just made one, and I'd be a billionaire now, and I'd never have to pay taxes. But anyways, so the way it gets laid out to us at orientation, it looks like this. Kind of looks like a pie chart, or not a pie chart, but it looks like a off pyramid, sort of like a pyramid. Yeah, it's very odd. It kind of goes like this, and then it kind of goes like that, and then it's very weird how they've laid it out. But basically the way that they want to say is that all of the money comes from up here, and then it just kind of trickles down, and all the money then ends up where the players are. Right? So like all of these feed the players. That's not even remotely true. Like
there's no way. Yeah.
No, it's just no way. It doesn't make any sense. So first of all, there's 40 people that make over $1 million at a not-for-profit organization. That's ginormous for like even a corporation.
That's more than a lot of players on tour that have full status.
Yes. So, and then you have the top of the food chain, Jay Monahan, who over the last however many years has been getting $14 million bonuses unanimously.
Wait, hang on.
And now it's just Brian Rolap now, right?
Yeah. I don't mean to cut you off.
Go ahead.
Oh. I was going to say, so these guys are making $1 million a year, 40 of them, and a minimum. And so I was saying there's probably a good chunk of players that have full status on tour that didn't make $1 million a year, and they had to pay for their own expenses. Whereas these guys, the tour probably paid for them and probably put them up and probably let them have a car.
I have to say probably. It's true.
Okay. Sorry. I just wanted to throw that. I was going to say, do you think that? But okay.
No, for sure. So I was watching the Pat McAfee show the other day when the whole news dropped about LIV, and he said, "Oh yeah, we didn't know and he's been sports forever. We didn't know that players were paying for their own travel, and we didn't know that really all of the expenses are on the players, and we didn't know, and we didn't know, and we didn't know." And I'm like, what are you talking about? You didn't know. Like, you telling me all of the years you played in the NFL, all the players that play golf, all of the players that would commingle never talked about that? I mean, Jeremy, you had to play with some guys that talked about that.
Well, I'm saying
right?
NFL, we don't pay for anything.
No, you don't.
Yeah.
You don't. Yeah. That's what I'm saying. Yeah. So, like, you had to have those conversations where a professional golfer would play with somebody like you or whomever.
Sure.
And be like,
of his status, for sure.
Exactly, right? And so anyway, it surprised me that there was just this gigantic void of kind of
knowledge.
Just had no idea what was going on. So basically, what the picture I'm trying to paint here is that the PGA Tour has been able to operate basically under the radar for decades, and it's grown to a number. Maybe you guys can look this up real quick, but how many employees the PGA Tour has? And then
they just had a bunch of layoffs, so we probably definitely got.
well, they laid
a
off
little
middle
less.
management. Middle management.
Yeah,
I was gonna say they probably
okay.
laid off people so they can maintain their 40 people can maintain their $1 million salary.
Yeah,
you know what I'm
minimum,
saying?
minimum,
Like,
sorry. So
but
even
it's-
that, right? So it's crazy, right? So then you look at Jay. By the way, Jay has not officially stepped down as the PGA Tour commissioner.
really, dude, that guy needs to get out, dude. That guy was not good.
So
And how he handled LIV was terrible. Like,
Oh, but
He did a
he got a
horrible job.
unanimous bonus that
And-
year. Unanimous,
dude, and like he was like, I guess I'll make signature events $20 million, and it's like, yeah, way to funnel players down to the play, or way to funnel money down to the players.
And where did that
like,
money come from?
Yeah, like
we don't
they
know.
just had it. Yeah, they just had it the whole time. They
never wanted to pay it.
Oh no! So and then
Dude,
and then you
no
talk
way,
about
yeah.
the $300 million that they paid out for the player impact program. So that was 2023, 2024, and 2025. Actually, 22, 23, 24 before SSG stepped in. So I was literally standing in Mexico with our player representative, and I asked him. I said, "So we had 80 million in the bank after COVID, right?" Yes. Where did the $300 million come from? He goes, we don't know. So in other words, the information was like super siloed to a small, like we're talking about single digit group of people.
Yeah.
To where
It's like, what's your clearance level on the PGA Tour?
what are we talking about, right? And so then you look at the fact that, you know, there's a whole mess of just smoke when it comes to this stuff, and then all of a sudden SSG comes in, and you go, well, where did Jay Monahan come from? Where did Alex Baldwin come? Oh, they used to work for SSG. Oh, that's interesting. And where did the TGL funding come from? Oh, it came from SSG. Oh, so we're okay with indoor golf and all of these players using and making millions and millions of dollars over here that's coming from SSG, but then you're not going to tell anybody where the money comes from for your $25-40 million whatever the purse that they want to make, the player impact program, all these other changes. And on top of that, here's some more smoke for the fire, or fuel for the fire rather.
Yeah.
How is it that a not-for-profit can own a for-profit organization?
They just
Because
want
it's
to
not,
freaking...
by the way, it's not PGA Tour Enterprises is running the PGA Tour. It's the other way around. It's under the umbrella for PGA Tour. So the fact that they say, well, he's the CEO of PGA Tour Enterprises, the for-profit arm of the PGA Tour, that doesn't make any sense. You're a not-for-profit that has a for-profit arm. That means you're not. That means that you're for profit.
Right.
They like.
It's a loophole. It's like a little loophole. Yeah, to make money.
We're
Like
getting
you
into,
said, it's supposed to be the other way
weird
around.
places, dude. We're
It's
getting into weird places,
it's a loophole. So all the money that they make is just net. It's not gross because
and they don't pay taxes, right? So when you talk,
so it's net. Yeah.
Oh, dude, it's crazy. So when you talk about, for example, how much do you guys think a rules official makes on the PGA Tour?
Ooh,
I was gonna say probably nothing though. I bet you the tour.
Yeah.
I don't think the tour pays them. I don't think the tour pays them that well. I think the tour keeps the money up top.
Five what? That's crazy. 'Cause I was gonna say 5,000.
Zero expenses.
So you got to get
500
there
grand?
yourself. Get there yourself, and then how many tournaments?
No. They have zero expenses.
So they just go.
Expenses.
How many officials are there per tournament usually?
Oh, there's half dozen to a dozen, and they range. By the way, we're talking about it goes from $250,000 to God knows how much.
Well,
At one point, Slugger, I'm sure, was making a good check. But I mean, yeah, $500,000 a year is a good average.
Dude, this is crazy. The crazy thing to me, because I'm for the players. Granted, I want good officiating because then it maintains the integrity of the game.
100%.
But the thing that bothers me the most is like there's all these guys that work for the PGA Tour and the organization that makes all this money.
Yes.
And these players don't even, there's a lot. I mean, if you're below the top 60, you're probably not making $1 million that year. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
Hey,
I just
looked this up too. An NFL referee per game makes roughly between $10,000 and $11,000 per game,
But
and PGA officials make $500.
no.
500 grand. 500 grand.
$500,000 a year.
A year. Okay. That's different.
They're,
Then, yeah.
yeah, they're
Average
counting
salary.
money. Granted,
Okay.
they're working all day. They're working all day though.
Because at
Like
first I
4
was
days a
like,
week,
that
all
is.
day.
At first I was like, that is selfish. They only get $500.
So the rules officials
500,000.
work really, really hard, right?
Okay.
Yeah.
The
I was about to have
focus
an
in on
issue.
the rules official salary was the idea that the people that work for the PGA Tour, on average, make more than the people that play on the PGA Tour.
I know, and the money, like how do they generate viewers? Is it because of the rules official? Like if we get a better rules official, are they going to get more viewers, or if we get a better player, or if we get a better field?
You know, it's funny. In the NFL, we always said, like, if the ref was, like, making terrible calls, we're like, they're not here to see you. We used to always say that.
Yeah.
They're not here to see you, dog.
Yeah, they're not here to see you. They're here to see Scottie.
Yeah. So, I mean, all of this aside, because obviously I still maintain my status and I'm still a supporter of the organization as a whole. But the simple fact of the matter is that you're now looking at an organization that, and this week is a perfect example. The majority of the news was centered around two guys that essentially were not that next year, if the PGA Tour goes ahead with the schedule, would not be playing. So explain that to me. So explain that how the guy that's playing, the guy that won this week, right, got in because of Zurich, right?
Because he's second at Zurich.
Oh, Alex.
No.
Yeah.
No, Reitan.
Kristoffer.
Yeah,
Kristoffer.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah.
Kristoffer.
So Reitan. Sorry. He got in because of Zurich, and obviously he played well. I'm not taking it away. This has nothing to do with the players.
For sure.
But the majority of the news was centered around those two guys, and Brooks shooting a 29, right? So, like, you can't, I mean, for a guy that's a casual viewer like me, if that's all I'm seeing, and then I look, and as because of the the knowledge that I have, I say, well, those guys wouldn't be playing next year, and they just beat the best players in the world at Quail Hollow, which, by the way, is a major championship
course. Yes.
Championship.
Yes.
Regardless of whatever the players are doing, the fact is that what the PGA Tour is doing is signaling to everybody else that they want to only focus on the players that they want to focus on, and they believe that the way to do that is to decrease the fields, decrease the amount of opportunities, and decrease the amount of tournaments. The problem with that is all of the players that we just got done talking about saying, oh, we don't know who's going to win, this year picks are so tough to do. Guess what? Next year, that's not going to happen, because they don't want that to be the case. They want it to be, it's going to be the same guys competing every year or every week against the same, over and over and over again, because those are the guys that sell. The reason why they're doing that is because, let's say that you two are Wells Fargo and Farmers Insurance, okay? As Wells Fargo and Farmers Insurance, you guys walked away from the table. Why? Because you guys aren't making money off sponsoring the PGA Tour tournaments. Why? Because nobody cares to watch the PGA Tour. Why? Because the coverage blows. You have no you have no idea who's coming and when. You've got 3 players that you watch for 3.5 hours, and you got sprinkling some other tournaments here and there.
Bro, I've complained about that so much, man.
Everybody does.
And like I said, I understand. Yeah, I understand, like, your face is Scottie. But right now, hypothetically, if Tony Finau is leading, don't pull away from Finau just to keep showing me Scottie fighting to make 10th place. Like, please.
Yeah, that's a great way. That's a great point too.
Because, like, remember, Nate, we were talking about, like, I think it was Smiley. Every time Scottie made a birdie, he was like, "Here comes Scottie," and it's like, bro, he's in 7th with 2 holes left. It's over.
well, even Cam Young today, they're like, "Here comes Cam Young," But dude,
they're trying to do it though. They're trying to find the next Tiger.
Dude, and I hear exactly what you're saying, because the FedEx Cup, like, to get your card again, it went from 125 to 100.
Now 100.
And then signature events, in one day it's going to be, and that kills me, because I want my buddies to make the tour. Like, I want them to have a shot to go against the Scotties of the world. And it's great if the underdog wins, And the other thing too is, like, these signature events. Yes. Oh, well, in these signature events, I think the reason, like, they cut the fields down on these signature events a lot too. So you're just to go kind of like reinforce what you're saying is they're cutting these signature, and there's no cuts for them because they want to like be like, well, in case Scottie is 70th, we can still show Scottie because he's playing on Sunday.
That's a good point. That's a good. I mean, but let's think of it this way, right? Like if you look at the thing that got me, and I was literally just talking to my wife about this when I saw it. I was just like, so this guy wins, and nobody's ever heard from him. Nobody knows who he is, right? And if next week he's playing and he's not playing that great, is he going to get shown? No. When's the last time you heard from Jacob Bridgman?
Didn't see him this weekend.
We haven't, but I would say I keep up with him a lot. But no, they do not advertise him at all.
Like on the CBS broadcast?
After winning the Genesis. Yeah.
At the Masters, we didn't see him in the CBS.
Rory, taking him down. And he got it done. And he played great early on in the season. He's still top 10, I think, in the FedEx Cup.
So,
like, the simple fact of the matter is that if it was really about the players as a whole, right, you would be able to look at the golf world as a major sponsor and go, I can walk down the street at pretty much any mini tour and see great players that either came from or will get to the PGA Tour. The Asher Tour is a wonderful example of that. Literally the best in the country. And then you go, I mean, I would put our top 10 against PGA Tour Americas any day. But the simple fact of the matter is, how do they expect the business to grow if they're just going to continue to shrink it? Like, they're the ones that are shrinking it. It's not going the other way.
It's not like the players are voting to shrink it. Like the players aren't doing that.
No. There are.
Oh, okay. I was saying the majority of the players.
Is it the top guys?
Yes. Yeah.
So,
yes, of course, the top guys.
So in the NFL was kind of like that too.
Oh, yeah.
You had the top guys who was like, yo, we do not want this extra game at all. But then you got a guy who's a 1 year vet minimum guys like, give me that extra game because I want that extra check. But I just see those two things working in conjunction
1,000%.
Like, yeah, bro.
No, you're absolutely correct. I mean, how many times did you sit? I mean, I'm sure you had to have sit at a union meeting where you're just sitting there going like, these guys don't have any idea. These boys, that dude won the Heisman over there and getting paid $100 million. Mm-hmm. That dude over there has been great since he was 2. Knows nothing about a bench, right? Yeah. And that guy over there says that he knows something about a bench, but loves these guys so much and wants to be in the right realm of, in the upper echelon of influence,
wants to
right?
be cool with those
guys.
Quick little story, if you guys don't mind.
Bro, please.
I'm standing with Jason Gore outside of, it was June 2nd or 3rd, the day that they announced, it was a Tuesday, the day that they announced the boilerplate agreement to have an agreement with the LIV Tour, and that shut down all of the lawsuits.
Yes,
you guys
dude.
remember that 2023?
Yeah. I remember because I thought like they were gonna be buddies, and we'd like have, but they're still rivals. Yeah.
Zero.
Anyways,
so by the way, the agreement existed so there would be no lawsuits because they didn't want to go to what you do in all lawsuits, which is discovery, which means the books get opened, and nobody wants their books opened.
PGA Tour didn't want to go to discovery.
Nobody wants to go to discovery.
Dude, I feel like okay. Real quick? Sorry, I don't mean to cut you off. Whose fault do you think? Do you think this is like Jay Monahan? Do you think it's like the tour in general, or like?
It's Tiger. It's Rory. It's Jordan. It's Adam Scott. It's anybody that had been on the board that went along with it. So I'll give you an example, and this is not directed at these guys because I don't think they're good people or anything like that.
Yeah, for sure.
It's just if you go along with the idea that selling the top players is what makes the PGA Tour great, you're not looking in reality at all. YouTube golf is great, not because these guys are great players, but because everybody gets marketed. Brad Daugherty is a good enough player, but 2 seconds ago, nobody knew the guy's name. So they did enough
Yes,
marketing to make Brad Dahlke seem like he deserves to be on the PGA Tour.
Unless you were in that space, because Nate knew about him, but I didn't know about him.
Exactly.
I knew who Brad Dahlke was because I competed against him.
But you're
and
talking about millions of people, right? So like millions of people watch this stuff over however many months. But anyways, my point is that you get some lower rung veteran guys that get on the board and they get influenced by the top players. They get influenced by Tiger, who at this point is sitting in the middle of the Bahamas on his yacht, doing whatever he wants to do, or Switzerland, whatever. Probably just sailing the world at this point. But the guy's not playing golf. So the fact that he knows what's best for the game is ludicrous. He wasn't in the room with Tim, before Jay. Tim.
I just started loving golf, so I wouldn't even know before J Money.
Come on,
I don't know. Yeah. I don't know.
The guy before Tim, I can't remember his name. Anyways, doesn't matter. The guy that was before Jay Monahan as the commissioner had Tiger Woods playing, and he was the face. He was not the one in the boardrooms. Guess who was? Phil Mickelson. Phil Mickelson was fighting for all of these players to get like cash, like legitimate contracts. That's why the average salary coming as a rookie was over $500,000. It's not anywhere near that now. And there's supposed to be more money than the Tim.
Phil is for the people.
Oh yeah,
dude,
Phil's
he is. He has been, and he's always been calling out. And that's why, like, dude, the tour like hated him.
Oh yeah, because of
and
that.
like, yeah, and when LIV happened, he was like, "I'm out because I'm going to go to a league that's going to."
And what happened?
Support players.
More money.
Yeah. Well, yeah. I mean, that's going to happen everywhere. I feel like. Yeah, I feel like it's going to happen everywhere, but like, I think Phil liked the fact that I think it bothers pretty much every player on the PGA Tour, like especially the lower tier guys, where it's like, dude, we don't get our expenses paid for. We have to go to these meetings, and we don't get paid for these meetings. Like, we're not on a team,
and our vote doesn't even matter.
Yeah,
so
exactly.
That tells you that the PAC, the Player Advisory Council, or any of these little boards that they come up with have anything to do with anything. They don't. They're literally information receptacles, like quite literally.
It's crazy. Just like looking at LIV too, you got a guy like Scott Vincent getting paid good money. Your guy Richard T. Lee's getting paid good money.
Oh yeah.
And then
I mean, why would like the thing is that Phil is the man to thank for the elevated events. He's the man to thank for the under the table, the player impact program. He's the man to thank for. I mean, tell me how it is that Rory McIlroy is doing Golf Pass commercials. Why? Doesn't make any sense. Unless he's getting paid, like really paid, because that dude's time is legit.
He's not gonna leave for he's not gonna do that for a little bit of money. Yeah.
No, and the reason why he did it was so that it was basically a repayment for when I literally was standing with Jason Gore outside of the RBC Canadian Open locker room, and the news broke. And Jason and I were talking, and both of our phones lit up. And I looked at him, he looked at me, he goes, Rory comes walking in, everybody's screaming at him because they want to know. Because what they did was they threw him under the bus. Because that entire time while he was chairman of the board, or president of the board, whatever his title was, he was the face of anti-LIV.
Yes.
And they threw him under the bus. And so they paid him.
He felt like he got stabbed in the back. Oh, so that's why he did the Pro Pass thing.
Yeah.
So, oh, dude.
Yeah, dude, I mean, bro, that ain't even.
Dude, we're opening a Pandora's box here, bro.
This is what I'm talking about, though. And this is why, like, I lit Jeremy up with like a freaking essay.
Yeah.
Because I was like sitting there going, I'm like, dude, like, the fact is that, like, I'm a believer in Jesus Christ. I've given my life to Him, right? Yeah. You guys know, like, I don't want to be seen at all. And there is no but. And so, like, to see what's happening to this game that even, like, as we speak, Christ is using to bring people to Him. I mean, He's used it for me, Yeah. Even when I was thinking of retiring. Like, I'm sitting on this podcast now, like, getting all this out, but also at the same time, like, I spent the better half of 2025 on another podcast, and it would blow me away to listen to somebody who had been in the space as long as he had been in the space, and he had all the connections in the world, and yet he didn't even know like some of like the steps of how this all broke down. I mean, the financial literacy in my head is zero. I don't have any idea how this stuff works, but I do know that if you're going to tell me that you're going to suck up the supply because you think that that's going to increase demand, I can tell you right here, right now, that the numbers of, and you guys know this, the numbers as far as like the elevated events, the first few bit that they were doing them, right, were terrible, right? And then all of a sudden they're like, oh, the numbers were up last year. Really? Compared to what?
Yeah.
Compared to what? Because they were up compared to the year before? That just means that you just happen to market it the right way.
LPGA does that sometimes too. It gets kind of annoying. Yes.
And it's terrible.
Yes.
So, but anyways, the long and the short of it all is way too long for that. But like,
no, dude, this is
love it.
Pandora's box, dude.
this is the most heartbreaking statement that I've ever heard from anybody. And I won't say who said this.
Yeah.
But I was talking to the guy, and I asked him because I trust him, like fully, because he knows what it's like to grind, both PGA Tour and Korn Ferry Tour. And I asked him, I said, so in all of this, you're in all these calls, you're in all these meetings, who do you trust the most to like shepherd this going forward? Like all this money that we're getting, right? All this attention that we're getting, all this marketing that we're getting, all of these voices that are saying, please show us the guys trying to grind to make the cut. Like we want to see that. We want to see the emotion. We want to see these guys for who they are. And he said to me, Tiger Woods. I trust Tiger completely. And the guy turned right around 6 months later and announced that it was going to be a 100-man tour,
Right.
lower fields, less tournaments, elevated events with no cuts, small fields. And essentially what they did was they took the LIV model and said, we're just going to make it 4 days.
Yeah.
So he turned around and just betrayed the entire membership. And that's what's heartbreaking. Now, I don't judge anybody because at the end of the day, it's just the game of golf and it is what it is. But there are a lot of players, and this is beyond a reasonable doubt at this point, there are no less than 250 players at least that can be competing at the highest level. And if you look at how golf breaks down, you have the PGA Tour, which is absolutely at the top of the Empire State Building as far as money, access, prestige, marketing, so on and so forth.
A level of play,
Level of play. And then you have, well, the problem with the level of play thing is you wouldn't know how the other guys play because you're never going to see them.
You only show 3 or 4 guys.
Yeah,
but this guy that won at Quail Hollow today is a wonderful example.
Yes.
There are 50 guys like that.
Dude, so many.
you'll
Dude,
never get
literally, the number one player on Astro Tour could be like that. Yeah, like what you're saying.
theoretically. I played on the PGA Tour, dude.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We'll get into it, but it's like,
Yeah.
it's like you give these guys just a little bit, just give a little bit, man. Just like, look at the Korn Ferry Tour. I need that thing. And these are great players. Like, these are our guys too. Like, I work for them too. Like, the $1.5 billion, you're telling me what 100 million is what of 1.5 billion? So that's 1,500 million. So you're telling me $100 million of that couldn't go to the Korn Ferry Tour? Really? To get some actual
Dude, I think
food,
like,
all that other stuff, like
to funnel
what
it,
are we talking about here?
Talking about like the funneling thing, it's like, dude, how do we? Because I would want guys, even like the Epson Tour, Tour, but it's like, you're gonna pay these. But there's actually money in the PGA Tour, and like they're gonna have 40 guys make $1 million, whereas you're gonna have half your players make less than that, and they have to pay for their own travel.
Well, and then when you look at the fact that the PGA Tour built 2 gigantic multi-million-dollar HQ buildings, they're building media organization, like they're building out all of these things, and they're bloating. They're doing what every single NGO, which is exactly what they are, by the way, has been doing for the last 50 years. I mean, if Doge were to look into the PGA Tour, it would dissolve. mean,
I
because
think
you
so
just sit there
too.
and
Like,
go,
there's definitely
what are
some
you
like
guys doing?
there's definitely some inefficiencies with how that
Sure.
gigantic organization
Why
is
is Jay
being run.
Monahan getting $14 million bonus every single year? For what? For
Yes,
failing?
like what Jeremy says, they're not there to see Jay Monahan. They're not there to see Brian Rolap. We're here to see the players.
Yeah.
And yet it's those people that say we don't want them to we don't want them to be comfortable on the Korn Ferry Tour. So these guys who never teed it up in a professional event, who have no idea what it's like to live out of a suitcase, have no idea what it's like to be playing with negative money in your bank account trying to make rent. They have no idea what any of that is like, trying to make a cut on Friday. Zero. They're the ones that are saying we don't want them to be comfortable on the second best tour in the world. The DP World Tour doesn't even come close.
To Korn Ferry?
Doesn't even come close.
Hot take,
it
dude.
ain't even close.
Can't wait to clip that
Bro.
one.
Please do. We would have these guys come over and play in 3 events after, in the Korn Ferry Tour playoffs. You guys remember those? Right? So they would come over, right? And they wouldn't even sniff it. I played with Minwoo Lee a number of times, and he's a phenomenal player. But Minwoo Lee wasn't doing anything until he started getting exemptions on the PGA Tour. And by the way, I'm not saying that he's not a great player. I'm not saying he doesn't belong on the PGA Tour. But you kind of gotta, like, they kind of gave it like, oh, here you go, here's enough starts to get your thing going. Yeah. And then he gets special exemption status and and then now all of a sudden,
they gave him like crutches to learn how to walk, and now he's learning how to walk.
Yep.
Dude, yes.
You win multiple times in the Korn Ferry Tour, guess what? You go up to the Korn Ferry Tour, you play PGA Tour, you're at the bottom of the rung, right? You're not getting any special treatment. Yeah, you're not getting any special treatment.
Dude, I know my buddy Andrew Yoon. You know Andrew
Yoon?
Yoon?
Who these guys are?
Dude.
Johnny Kiefer dominated. Never heard from him.
Korn Ferry.
Why?
Yeah.
Because he's at the bottom of the rung. He's at the last tee times. There's a number of different things that they do to Korn Ferry Tour top players to make it infinitely more difficult than they do to special exempt guys that they want to choose. I'm not
like Neil Shipley.
Yeah,
like Neil Shipley or like nothing against them, nothing against the players. But there's definitely guys where they're like, oh, he was low M at the Masters, and we had a lot of cameras on him, and then people are gonna remember him, so then we're gonna like give him a little crutches to. Yeah, they're all phenomenal players. Like it's nothing about their game that we hate.
And choose,
not
consistent.
It's just
the biggest problem.
It's more or less the politics of like, hey, who do we sponsor exempt?
Yeah.
And granted,
I'll put it this way. So let's just say, okay, that there are 25 people that make over $2 million a year that work for the PGA Tour. You take their salary and half it, which means you get $25 million per year that you can use to basically film 10 more players, which it would cost way less than that. But let's just say that that's what they did. You would know more. Their sponsors would see them more, which means those guys get paid more. And oh, by the way, just so we're clear on the side of the sponsors, do you guys know that clothing sponsors are few and far between? Like nobody's getting paid anymore. Club sponsors, few and far between. Nobody's getting paid anymore. Like I
figured,
the amount of how is it that there's more money in the purses, right, for the top players, and there's more money, more sponsorship money for them, but you're playing on the same tour that has existed forever, that 10 years ago they were getting $500,000 minimum, and now it's impossible to get paid unless you're like a friend of a friend, you know a guy kind of thing. Like, it's insane to me that you're telling these guys that they got to go pay $100,000 to $200,000 of expenses a year, and yet you can't get them.
Yeah.
You can't get them that money in sponsorship. Why? Because you'll never know who they are, even though they're playing on what's supposed to be the best tour in the world.
Dude, and Max Homa has said this too. He's like, why don't we film guys on Friday trying to make cuts? Like, why don't we get that out there? It's like this putt was to make the cut. We see that a little bit, but it's like
the next time you guys watch golf, because I don't watch golf. The next time you guys watch golf,
I watch all the time.
I would love to know how many people you see on a Friday.
Oh yeah, I mean, me and Nate already complaining about that now. So
less than 10.
Yeah.
Yeah, it wouldn't change our perspective at all.
144 man fields. You're
Yeah,
talking
you
about
see 10 guys.
even 100 man fields. You're seeing 10% of the field. Really?
Yeah,
Really?
Yeah.
Come on.
yeah.
There's
yeah.
cameras on every hole, man.
It's funny,
For
even
sure.
though y'all bringing up Neil Shipley, man. Neil Shipley has made 2 out of 11 cuts.
Yes. Neil
Yeah,
Shipley is going to struggle.
They're giving him like parallel bars to help him learn how to walk, and they're like figure it out.
Yeah, because he knows a guy.
But he's good. Like he's good, but it's just like
I mean, they're all good.
all these. Yeah, but it's like all these Korn Ferry guys are great, and Neil Shipley has won several times on the Korn Ferry. You know,
Yes, but
so
Johnny
he
Kiefer
was
beat him the whole time.
I know
Yeah,
exactly.
that's my
he did
part,
beat him a
yeah.
lot. Yeah. And but they're
do not
definitely
see
giving
Johnny
him
Kiefer.
guardrails. And,
Again,
and,
it's player A or player B or player C, whomever it is, right? Like the biggest depth, like the reason why this gets so deep is because it literally feels like you're gonna watch this thing that we all love, right? This huge driving force for charity and growing the game and all these other things, and yet you look into
they're
it.
shrinking the game at the top.
Exactly, but you look into it below the surface, you're like, they don't really give that much to charity. They don't, and especially compared to bigger organizations. But the amount of money that they say that they give, I'm sure is whatever. But they take way more in than they give out to charitable organizations, and certainly, by the way, compared to how much they pay themselves. But whatever. And then you look at what they do for the players, and you sit there and you go, so you're telling me that you can't make a tour of 150 guys and just say, listen, the fields are 122, 136, 144, and it's only our PGA Tour guys. We're not giving any exemptions to college players. We're not giving any exemptions to random local pros. We're not giving any Monday qualifiers gone. We only want 150 of the top best players in the world to play on this tour, period, end of story. And you're telling me you can't come up with 30 events that would love that, and the cities, not the cities, the media and all that other stuff, you're telling me you can't fund that as well? That your player who is struggling to make the cut is right on the cut line, whatever, who gets bumped out by a, Tyrrell Hatton birdie or eagle on the last, right? And Tyrrell goes from 8 under to 9 under to whatever, 7 to 9 to jump all the eights and jumps, all those eights. You're telling me that's not worth it? And they're going to say no, or we're working on it. But at the end of the day, we all know the scripture, right? You know them by the fruits, right?
Yeah, you know a tree
and
by
if the
its
fruit
fruits.
is they're shrinking the game, whatever they say doesn't matter, right? You can say you believe, right? And whether or not you believe is in between you and him, right? Like I ain't about knowing a man's heart. That ain't mine to know. But if what I see from you doesn't equate
To what you say?
Yeah, dude.
you're in a box. Like you're in this box until you get out of that box. You know what I'm
They're
saying?
like, let's grow the game. Oh, also, only 100 people are going to get their cards back next year.
Yeah.
Oh, let's grow the game. Oh,
and that's
only
going
70.
down. Yeah.
And it's probably, dude. So, like,
Yeah. Yep.
I could see your.
the old heads get, they get exemptions when they need them and whatever. Like,
Yeah.
I love Tony to death. I really do. And I've known him
Oh,
for years.
bruh.
Like,
Nate, how many times
my
have I talked
guy.
about Tony as one of my favorite
Dude, yeah.
golfers?
Oh, he's
I'm
my
just
guy.
being
Dude,
honest.
Jeremy-
I'm just being honest with what the film is showing, and it hurts.
Yeah.
It hurts.
No, it's. I could see that as a player, like, why you would be incredibly frustrated is like, you're
Well, and
taking
not to
away
mention,
my
like,
opportunities. Like,
we can. I'm sure Jeremy's got some more to talk about, but like
Yeah. We'll get to it. Make this last statement.
the biggest thing, honestly, is like moving forward. Like, what am I going to do about it? Well, get better every single day, and then at the end of the day, like, what can they do to stop me? This guy's a perfect example. This guy got where he got because he played well in the DP, played well when he needed to play well, and then he won. And now he's made more money this week than he probably will ever make in his life.
Yeah, for sure. Hey, I do want to ask a few questions, man. This one just kind of sparked my mind because of everything we're talking about. The Wesley Bryan situation. How do you feel about him getting suspended because he played in a YouTube live event and he hasn't been able to come back on the PGA Tour? But they made exceptions, which we understand, for guys like Brooks, Bryson, Cam, John, and I believe those are only 4 or 5 people there. What are your thoughts on that?
Yeah, I mean, obviously Wesley is a bona fide, he's one of the OG YouTube guys.
Yeah.
Right? I mean, the Bryan Bros have been around a long time, him and George, since Big Break, right? So, but I don't know if Wesley has been fully, like completely, what's the word, forthright with his conversations with the PGA Tour with regards to him coming back or not. What
looks more unlikely now because he just started that YouTube golf tour, so I don't know if he's
he makes more money doing that than he will on the PGA Tour.
So he's probably not making him any cuts. He's won one time. What was RBC? Did he win RBC Heritage?
No, he won.
No, he's won, but he's
he's
still a lower tier guy. Like he's like one of those guys that's like if they shrink the game, he might be out.
Yeah, his category, the past champions category in and of itself anyways is going away. I mean, the fact is that the people that are playing at Myrtle Beach right now, or were playing at Myrtle Beach rather, those guys aren't getting into events next year. They're gone. So there's not going to be any, opposite field events. It's not going to happen. So they're going to be all.
Yeah, he won the RBC Heritage 2017. He beat Luke Donald.
Oh, there you go. Yeah, and so obviously, phenomenal event, and he's a great player. But as far as what the tour is doing to him, he knowingly did something that was not correct. He said as much, and I think the reason why he is still suspended is because he hasn't sought. Maybe he hasn't sought a way back, but I also don't think he feels that he needs it. He's in his mid to late 40s now, early 40s. Maybe?
No way he's that old.
Early 40s, late 30s, early 40s.
He's that old?
Like that.
I thought he was like in his 20s. I'm not going to lie.
He's 36. He's 36.
36, all right. Mid 30s.
I say no way.
I mean, maybe he's
36 is old.
Maybe he'll be fine. But no, the simple fact of the matter is that he said it himself. He's making more money doing that than he was going to be on the PGA Tour. I mean, at this point, his status means less than nothing to him. And I think he wants the ability to play on the PGA Tour, but also sees the fact that his status isn't going to get him more than 5 or 6 starts in the entire year. And because of his less than agreeable nature with regards to the PGA Tour, he's not in their good graces anyways. And I'm not saying he should be. I'm not saying he should compromise what he believes in to be in the good graces of the PGA Tour. I've already covered how I feel about the PGA Tour at great length, unfortunately. But the people that make the decisions on whether or not they want to let Wesley back in believe that they have a right to your image, regardless of where you are and what you're playing in. The biggest problem with that is that we sign that release every week. So tell me how, if he's not signing it that week or that day, that it's relevant if he hasn't played in the PGA Tour in X amount of time. And what they say is because he's a member for life, which he is, they own his image for life. And it would be different if he played on the PGA Tour once back in 2010 and never played again and was just a YouTube guy now. But he's not. He's a PGA Tour member and he has to follow the rules. Do I agree with them? No. But that is what it is. And they are a private organization and they can let anybody play or not let anybody play.
It's crazy you talk about that too, which kind of, it's kind of assuring for a guy like Bryson who's like, man, if they don't want me back, I'll just do YouTube golf, because obviously we seeing Wesley is way more better off doing YouTube golf. Yeah. And obviously Bryson's very marketable. His YouTube is doing very well. You guys subscribe to mine so I can get there to some degree. I'm not as good as golf with him at all, but it's crazy that Bryson's in that predicament. Like, man, I'll just do YouTube golf and I'll just play in majors. The only downside to that, if he doesn't finish top 12 in these majors, you're going to run out of exemption at some point.
Yeah.
So Bryson better keep his game sharp so he can still continue to play. Yeah, yeah. Absolutely. But Brent, I want to go to you personally, man. I've said, been good friends with you for a while, man. I think you're an incredible golfer, man. Brent bogeyed bogeyed like one hole in the episode. He figured out the greens, and he buried like the next 6, which is just crazy.
Yeah,
But,
I remember
man,
watching that. He was on a roll.
I was like, what the heck?
That was a weird day.
But nah, Brent, I just want to know where you at with golf now. I know you've been doing some Monday Qs. You've been doing the Asher Tour. How's your game feeling? And like, where you at in the next stepping stone to hopefully get back to Korn, Ferry, and the PGA Tour?
Yeah, I mean, obviously very blessed that still playing, which is great. You know, God is great, and his guidance has been pretty clear, and he's provided where he's guided me. So, very grateful for that. I mean, eternally grateful. Obviously, doesn't cover the blessing, but anyways, I've been working really hard. I've been playing nonstop.
I see you at TPC all the time.
Yeah, I mean, TPC
Grinding
or
away.
wherever it is, man. I'm literally just constantly playing now. I mean, this is the first day, and I can't tell you how long that it wasn't a travel day or a work day or a tournament day. So, you know, and thankfully I've got, you know, a great excuse in my wife to take the day off. So, but yeah, no, it's been great. I've continued to get better. My mind has continued to gotten sharper. And my body, you know, my physical side, I'm hitting it probably better than I'm definitely hitting it better than I've ever hit it, even when I was on the PGA Tour. In fact, every piece of my game is better than it was when I was on the PGA Tour. Most importantly, putting, which, I mean, I played yesterday, kind of a whatever practice round of talking stick, getting ready for the Desert Financial this coming week, and
I'm excited for tomorrow to play with you, man.
Ooh, bro, it's gonna be fun. It's gonna be a blast.
Yeah.
Course is in perfect shape.
Nice.
I encourage anybody that wants to come out, go ahead and come out. It's gonna be a blast. But I'm playing yesterday, and it's kind of whatever. I hit a couple of shots where I shouldn't have hit it, whatever. But I literally, aside from 2 swings, really didn't miss a shot, and went out and did what I needed to do. And the day before that, played Alta Mesa, and had no bogeys and shot 66. So it's odd how if you just keep playing and just keep working, all of a sudden things keep clicking. So
I'm waiting for that moment.
well, you know, you gotta work with the right people, G. So, you know.
Well, I hear you. I don't want to take any, because I have been searching, but Jen Park has been getting me right as of lately.
Yeah,
Jen has been getting me right, man. And he
very good.
works with KH Lee, and he works with Kevin Hughes.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
But you know, you're not a 5'7" Korean dude, so.
I'm not. I'm 6'3", 217.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. But no, it's been amazing. It's been an amazing blessing. I played really well in Hawaii a couple of weeks ago. Placed second, and should have won the tournament by a dozen. But yeah, no, it's just been incredible, man, and really looking forward to keep playing.
Absolutely. Nate, I know you had some questions for Brent, man. Like I said, I've got to play golf with him and know his story, so I'm going to let you take it from here.
No.
First off, please, guys, if you're still listening, this has been a long one, but very informative. Please like, subscribe, share. No, you're good, bro. And comment and everything, man, because this is a very great episode, man. I hope you got to this mark right here. But go ahead, Nate.
Yeah. No, I was going to say something about Wesley Bryan, dude. He's the destroying version of golf. Yeah. Because y'all know, do you know destroying? He was like the punter, and he got kicked out of UCF
because he was making YouTubes. He was making money, and at the time
he was getting paid. Yeah.
Oh,
there was no
the white dude.
No, black.
No,
dude.
He's a black dude. Yeah,
he's a kicker from UCF, and they said either you shut down your YouTube, start making money to continue to play football, or keep your YouTube. It's a while ago.
Oh,
yeah, but there's
one dude that was like unbelievable making YouTube videos.
Yeah, but they were both like bottom tier kind of. I don't say bottom. Like, they weren't well known because destroying was just a punter, but but they weren't well known. They weren't well known in their sport, but then they got well known because they made YouTube,
and then hard.
And then now they got kind of kicked out of the leagues because of YouTube. But then now it's like there's a social media thing.
Yeah, they're doing. Yep.
Yeah. Now there's the social media thing. They like changed the rule of the league, but they were the martyrs to go.
Oh, that's right. That's right. They did that.
Yeah.
Yeah. I honestly believe that the entire ideal behind the social media rule change was enough pressure from YouTube Golf to where they said, okay, we'll make a
We'll compromise,
concession.
yeah.
We'll make a concession. It doesn't
Yeah.
mean anything. I mean, actually, that was the reason why I lit up Jeremy, because I was like, does anybody know the fact that, by the way, the ad revenue for every single minute that is shown goes to the PGA Tour? Like $0 from your face goes to you. $0.
Yes.
And that was the
Unless you
issue
make
with
a deal on the
NCAA.
side.
That was the issue with the NCAA for a long time until NIL became an issue.
Yeah.
Like I always said, man. I mean, I went to UConn, but I was a guy. I'm like, yo, how much would I have made? My jersey was being sold, my face was everywhere, and I got absolutely nothing. And now you got my little brother at Tennessee who's getting paid a lot and doing really well. But it's like, man, I was born too early.
I just played with Joey, or caddy with Joey Porter in a group where Joey was playing.
Right.
Whew. Dude looks nothing like what he did back in the day. He's got dreads and stuff now. I was waiting, like, it was like, that's
really?
Joey Porter. I'm like, no, crew cut Joey Porter? That ain't Joey Porter. No,
that's funny.
But
That's
anyway,
crazy, dude.
He was like, my son's in the NFL now, my other son's, whatever. And I'm like, man, what could these guys do now? Like the Troy Polamalu's, Joey Porter.
Sure.
These guys were ginormous.
Yes.
Like marketing usage for the NFL, and like social media wasn't a thing. Like, could you imagine how much money these boys would be making now?
How much Chad Johnson would have made if social media was a thing back in the day?
Gosh,
Dude, I know. Oh yeah, but Joey Porter, man.
But yeah,
dude, he was.
Nah, he's the man.
Yeah, he was such a
terrible
stud.
golfer.
Yeah.
But nah, he's a good dude. Cannot play.
No,
he's too big, man.
Yes,
but
anyways,
dude, what I was gonna ask you, because we kind of talked about it, is like, what's the biggest misconception that people have about like Korn Ferry players? Because if you look up on the internet, it looks like you made a lot of money, but what's like the biggest misconception about the money you make, and like what you actually take home and stuff like that?
Yeah. Well, the biggest misconception for me was that the extra $500,000 that they gave me, I had to pay all that back, and then some. So, oh yeah. Oh, you didn't know that?
No, explain that.
Come on now. You're gonna be here for another hour and a half. All right, I'll keep this one short. It was essentially a draw on future earnings. The league minimum, quote unquote, right, that they gave us, that they forced us to take, by the way, with no contract, but that's whatever. That's a conversation for another day. Was a draw on future earnings. So every dollar I made on the PGA Tour got paid back. So they gave me $500, and then every tournament I played in, every dollar I made went back to the PGA Tour. So they say, well, we paid you. Like, yeah, but you didn't really pay me because it's just a draw on future earnings. Like, you just said, oh, well, we paid you early. Well, that doesn't make any sense, because then I just spent it all because it costs money to play the PGA Tour. And really the money that, like, there was just a whole tax problem, all kinds of issues, but it's like, really what it came down to, it was because of a bunch of mistakes that were made, they gave us the $500 up front when it should have been $400, and there was some tax problems and all kinds of issues that we're dealing with now. But the money that I made on the PGA Tour through 30 events all went back to the PGA Tour because they paid me early.
What would have happened if you didn't pay back, or did it just take it out of your
if I walked
PGA
away?
Tour earnings check?
Yeah, so if I just walked away, I could have kept the $500,000, but I obviously wouldn't be playing on the PGA Tour. So I would have forsaken the opportunity to make $1.5 million or $2 million,
right?
Which I could have easily done. I mean, I could tell you the two shots that kept me away from keeping my card. Ridiculous. Missed the Wells Fargo by 1, U.S. Open by 1 or 2, top 5 at Pebble Beach by 2, Farmers at 2 by 2 or 3. So I mean, whole mess of shots throughout the year where I went from 160, I think 165, whatever it was, and would have been inside the 125.
Yeah, that's crazy how like one shot is like worth.
That's the biggest misconception.
$500,000, whatever it is.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Just crazy, bro.
Yeah.
So that's the amount of money that you make. If you look at it this way, it's minimum $75,000 to play 25 events. Minimum.
Okay. How would you break it down per event?
Aside from the Bahamas are gigantic. I mean, we're talking about like 15 grand
expense
before you tee it up for 2 events. Let's say we're playing, or they're getting ready to play Raleigh, or they are playing right now. You wouldn't know because there's no marketing. And I don't even know because I don't pay attention. But let's say they're going to Raleigh. For your average East Coast guy, it's obviously less than West Coast. But let's say you're a West Coast guy like myself. So you're paying probably $500 to $800 right now for flights. And then you're paying...
That's including your caddy too, right?
Well, no, that's not even... No, we don't pay for our caddies. Yeah, caddies got to pay their own way too, which is a whole other thing. But like, caddies probably get a salary of anywhere from $1,000 to $25,000. 3 is like super high. But, and then let's say it's another $800 to $1,200 for hotel and probably $300 to $600 for rental car. And then an average salary of $1,500 for caddy, plus whatever percentage you guys figure out after you make a cut. And oh, by the way, you're playing for 10% of what you do on the PGA Tour. So North Carolina, Raleigh is North Carolina, South Carolina. So taxes aren't...
Raleigh's North Carolina.
North Carolina, sorry. North Carolina taxes aren't great. So let's say, what is it, 12%? It's probably 12%, something like
Couldn't
that.
tell you.
And then, so let's say you win $180,000, 10% goes, probably 12% goes to the caddy. So right away, I mean, you're looking at pretty big check you're writing your caddy.
62, yeah.
And then feds take 20 or 30, I think, something like that.
Mm-hmm.
And then state takes another, let's call it 10. So you're walking away with not a lot of money.
Like right around 100, yeah.
And this is on Asher.
Probably less.
And that's not...
No,
that's
Korn Ferry.
This is Korn Ferry.
Yeah, and that's not including expenses. You're walking away with like 100, and you haven't talked about...
And you paid out $5 grand.
You just paid out your caddy and your taxes, yeah.
Just $5, and then you add $5 grand for expenses, and then let's say you had a deal with somebody to pay back your investor, whatever it was. But the simple fact of the matter is...
Oh, yeah, that's right.
Your life has changed for a little while, right? And you're probably going to get your PGA Tour card if you just play halfway decent the rest of the season.
Mm-hmm.
But you're not... I'm sure you had a bunch of debt before then. Like, there's just all these other things. I mean, so unless your dad's a billionaire or whatever, or you
right.
like these things matter. I mean, James Nicklaus does a wonderful job of breaking it down a number of times. What people don't understand about Jimmy is that he comes from that kind of wealth, so whatever. But it's not like you have your average, guy like me out there going, yeah, it cost me this much, and I still have 50 grand in credit card debt. Which, by the way, I've been there.
Yeah, and that was Ben Griffin's story.
Yeah.
And then where he worked at, they obviously sponsored him, and then he obviously caught fire. And was able to pay that back.
His story is weird because what it makes it seem like is that he quit golf, and then he went and did mortgages or whatever it was.
Well, he said he couldn't afford it no more.
Yeah, but it was COVID.
Yeah.
Right. It was 2020 that he did that, right? And then so he came back late 2021. And I mean, he did what he needed to do, right? And which all respect to him. I mean, he's a great player. And so, really, what he did was a wonderful example of if you got to do it, you got to do it. And breaking away from golf, if that's what you feel like you have to do to provide for your family, do it. And, and I'm hoping that's, we'll be able to look back on this in a year or two and, we're all sitting at, Augusta or whatever it is.
Yeah, that'd been amazing. Nate,
that's what it's going to be.
Right. Nate, you got any more questions for Brent?
No, I feel like I've learned a lot about the PGA Tour
awesome.
And like the orientation. Yeah.
It's like I said, man. I mean, the simple fact of the matter is that as a player, the focus needs to be on playing. And anybody that watches this that is a player that is in college or on the lower rung tours needs to understand that the world is going to get you to try to be. It wants to distract you. And James Hahn and I, who was on the board at the time in 2023, 2 years later, He's contemplating retirement. I'm contemplating retirement. And all of the talks that we had all throughout 2023, he and I looked at each other 2 years later and said, we wasted our time. We should have been more focused on golf. And that's a mistake I made. It's a mistake that he made. And I don't want anybody to make that mistake. So despite everything that was said on this hour and 40-minute podcast, taking way too long for you guys, but needs to understand that if you're just getting better at golf day by day, all the other stuff takes care of itself. And that really is all there is to it.
Yeah, man. Well, first off, Brent, man, thank you for taking the time to stop by on the pod, man. Super great. This was informative, man. And I really hope if you're listening, you gave this a shot, man. And I kind of wanted to say this in the beginning because there's some things me and Nate have been talking about, like, man, how can we, get this out there more? Because me and Nate have some good takes. Not to say that we're perfect. We could be wrong here and there, but there are some takes where like, man, that was great. Then 2 days later, we see it on Pat McAfee or Beth Nicole, the LPGA
Beth Nichols, yeah.
And it's just like, man, if we could just get this out there. But one thing we kind of talked about is like, man, I hope the audience is not turned off or intimidated by the gospel aspect of the podcast, because we talk straight golf here, and then we have our gospel portion, but we don't want you guys to disqualify us because you see the word gospel in the name. Like, we have some very, very good conversations. But Brent, again, man, appreciate you coming on, man. Can't wait to play golf with you tomorrow, and this is awesome, bro.
My pleasure. Thank you. You guys are super informed, and you guys do a wonderful job of keeping up on stats and current events, and I'm excited to get this out there as much as I can as well.
Absolutely, man.
Thanks,
Appreciate you, man. And once again, I'll see you tomorrow, dog. Peace. Again, guys, Brent Grant, man, Korn Ferry champion, former PGA Tour pro. We're hoping to see him back on the PGA Tour and Korn Ferry pretty soon. But, man, we're going to rush through this next portion, man, because we respect women's golf. We want to talk about women's golf. Hey, want to get right into it, man. It's crazy. So last year on the LPGA, we did not get a two-time winner until October 12th when Jeeno won the Buick LPGA Shanghai. This year, we already have 4 repeated winners: Nelly Korda, H.J. Kim, Hannah Green, and Jeeno Thitikul, which shows you the depth and level of competition is incredible right now. But we go over to the Mizuho Americas. Jeeno had a fire lit under her, falling off, lost her number 1 spot, comes back to Mizuho, defends her title, and wins. What was something you liked about Jeeno's game this week?
Dude, like, stone cold, didn't make a lot of mistakes. I think she made just 1 bogey, if I recall correctly. But Rooney Yin was making a lot of birdies on the front 9.
She was.
And Jeeno was I think she was still pressing, but it just didn't look like she was. It didn't feel like Alex Fitzpatrick today, where she was like letting it slip. Like, she was trying to score, and then it finally started to happen. And then at the end, I thought it was almost borderline inappropriate that she had to make that birdie putt, because you want the winning putt to be the last putt, but she she was far away, and then made it like JJ Spawn, and then it was like, oh, whoops, whoops. No, she was like that. She's all like, oh, whoops, and then she like, but
that was hilarious.
But yeah, I thought it was really impressive. It was cool with the what was the amateur's name? Dang.
I know you're talking about though.
They
both repeated.
They both won it. Yeah, they both repeated. I thought that was kind of cool too. So
that was awesome. Absolutely. I was very impressed with her iron and wedge play. 90% green regulation this week. The thing's about to be awesome about next week. This is going to be the first time we see her and Nelly in the field since the Chevron. Who do you think takes the victory between them two? If it came down to those two, who do you think takes the victory?
Right now, I still probably have to go with Nelly, just because she has a larger body of work of like finishing second to other ladies that their game was just really hot. But gonna have to go with Nelly. But I'm 51-40. I'm more or less 55-45 on Nelly Jeeno. Yeah,
I like that take, man. And here's the thing, though: the fact that Jeeno has only won when Nelly is not in the field. Nelly has won when Jeeno was in the field. So I'm going to stick with Nelly too, but I would not count out Jeeno, because she can, for sure enough, do what she did last year and kind of like start to catch a little bit of fire and start to defeat Nelly. But that was when Nelly was on a down year putting. And Nelly's putting is still not incredible, but it's way better. Like I said, I believe she was ranked.
It's definitely not incredible,
Yeah, she was ranked 109 strokes game putting. I think now she's probably in the top 60, which is dramatic improvement.
It's a huge jump,
Big time, man. So I'm going to still go with Nelly, but I would not be surprised if again, a fire has been lit under Jeeno where she can beat Nelly. But here's the real question we have now, man. Are we at the point with Jeeno that we don't care about regular wins anymore and she needs to win a major?
So this is her 8th, 9th win
With no major.
or something like that. Yeah, it's so she's almost at double-digit wins. I would like to see her win because, like, I feel like it's like what Chris P. Fish said about Rory when he won the Masters. It was like, okay, do we care if Rory gets another win or do we only care about majors at this point? And I think with Jeeno, it's like, let's say it is 8 wins. If she has 8 wins versus 9 wins, do we really care or do we care if she finally gets that major? So, yeah, I think
9 wins,
I think,
right?
Oh, okay. But yeah, if it's, I mean, I guess 10 wins is like a nice round number, but it's like, what if that 10th win was a major? You know, if you win a major, it's still another win. So I think it's time to really solidify that she's like a top person. Got to be a major. Got to beat Grace Kim next time.
Yeah, absolutely. Yes, at the Evian, man. And I mentioned this a few weeks back, man. Jeeno, she's unfortunately in that same conversation as Luke Donald, who was world number 1 for a long time and unfortunately never got a major. So this would be it's pretty important that she gets one soon, or her winning in Cincinnati next week. Like, cool. Like, you got 10, but like, are you going to win the Women's U.S. Open? Are you going to win at the Evian? Are you going to win the IG Women's Open? Like, that's what we really want to see your game. Yeah, we really want to see what your game comes from that. Last thing I want to talk about in regards to women's golf before I give a quick breakdown, the Epson Tour, is we see that the women TGL roster is set. Do you think that this roster can increase viewership? It's Celine Botti, Andrea Lee, Minji Lee, Danielle Kang, Megan Kang, and Albane Bellanuzuela. Hope I said that correct. Do you think that roster moves the needle in increasing viewership for women's golf?
Well, there's like the other roster that has like Lexi, because there's like other teams, right? I'm pretty sure Lexi's in the women's TGL, and so is Jeeno.
Yeah.
I still think the biggest needle mover isn't Charlie Hole in it as well.
I believe so.
Yeah, I think the biggest needle mover at the end of the day, I think we all know who it's going to be. Is going to be Nelly.
If she decides to, I think she was upset because she's like, man, why don't we make this a co-ed event and whatnot?
Yeah. I mean, I agree with her.
Yeah, big time. But who we got? Just erased. Our players are Celine Botti, Brooke Henderson, great name. Charlie Hole, great name. Daniel Kane, Megan Kane, Lydia Ko, great name. Andrea Lee, Minji Lee, great name. Jeeno Thitikul, great name. Lexi Thompson, great name. Albane Bellanuzuela, and then Michelle Wee West, who's a great name. She didn't play well at the Mizuho, but she's a great name.
But she's still a needle mover, yeah.
Big time. Lottie Wold, up and comer, and Rose Zhang, needle mover. I think this is a solidified roster. If they can solidify Nelly, that would be great because you want to try to get all your
biggest stars. You
want to get all your women that are marketable. Really, not only have to be the biggest star, just be very, very marketable.
Yeah, like Michelle Wee is like she's going to be a big needle mover compared to a lot of the current players.
Yes, Lexi Thompson hasn't been that hot late. I think Lexi might be outside the top 90 in official Rolex women's golf ranking. Yeah.
But she's still a big needle mover. Yeah.
Big needle mover. For sure. Absolutely, man. So I think this roster looks great. And unfortunately, but fortunately, majority of viewership comes from men. So you have to appease that audience. Obviously, you want to get more women into the game. 100%. I love women's golf. Love watching women's golf. But I'm a male viewer. So you got to keep doing whatever you got to do to get male viewership into women's golf. And I think that was Nelly's issue with saying, like, why don't we make this a co-ed event? Because now, respectfully, you're forced to watch us play. But I think this is that was a really good addition of golfers that have come onto the tour, and we'll see if it does anything in terms of increasing viewership and whatnot. Last thing about women's golf, the Epson Tour, I hope I pronounced her name right. Cholchiva Onegrass wins by 5 strokes in Vegas, punched her ticket in the Indian Wells, which was a great win for her. So shout out to her. Shout out to the homie Annabelle Pancake Webb, who got in the top 5 last week.
There we go, Annabelle.
Her best was not. She didn't do very well at
made the cut
Classic. Made the cut.
Good Friday, made the cut.
With a really good Saturday. Oh no, was it? Yeah, it was a good Friday. She made the
Friday.
cut.
Made the cut. Yeah,
very good Friday. Then kind of just finished her weekend, but this week definitely recouped, got a T5, which very excited about her. So shout out to Annabelle. But again, shout out to Chola Chiva Onegrass. I hope I probably said 2 different names, but I think this is her first win on the Epson Tour as a pro. She's a rookie. She's 19. So congrats to her for getting a victory. Yes. Yes. Now next week, the Epson Tour will be in Utah at the Copper Rock Championships, and that will conclude their West Coast run. So again, support women's golf and check out the Epson Tour. But Nate, I want to move over to the gospel portion. Let the spirit move here. I know we've been on a long time, but I don't want to rush our time, especially in this portion, because we don't want to say that the golf is more important than the gospel here, man. But Nate, I would love to know, how do you hold on to hope when waiting for a breakthrough? What does it look like to hang on to hope in just life?
I don't know. Today we were talking about like your calling and stuff like that, and I feel like it was I think it was timely with your social media post, like our calling is just to fulfill the Great Commission and stuff like that. But when I was at church, our pastor talked about Job, and I thought about like,
gosh,
what the subject was when you're like, like what is it like to hold on hope? And in the book of Job, like Job questions God throughout the book when he's going through all his suffering. So for the listeners that don't know who Job is, like he was this disciple of God. He was a prophet. Would that be a good way to put him? He's a character in the Bible. Yeah. Satan was all like, who's your most faithful person? Who's your most faithful follower to God? And then he says, I want you to take away all his stuff. So Job lost his family, lost his livestock, lost everything. And he was still faithful to God. But throughout his suffering, he questioned God a lot. And at the end of it, God never answers him because, he's just praying. It's just like whenever we pray, sometimes we don't feel like God answers. And the same exact situation with Job. Like he prayed, it's like, God, why are you doing this to me? You're still sovereign, but why are you doing this to me? God never answers him. And at the end of the book, God answers him. And what God's answer wasn't like, here's an explanation of what was going on. I was, just explain myself. What God says is, he goes, where were you when I laid the earth's foundation? Where were you when I did all these things? And I liked how like it shifts from like Job looking for an explanation and like he's looking for why, and then it shifts to like, well, this is who God is. And I think that's in those moments where we're waiting for hope, we shouldn't be asking why. We should just be referring back to who. I mean, I don't say we shouldn't be asking why, but like our focus shouldn't be on why. Our focus should be on who God is and his sovereign plan. And I think, when we question God, and even when we're looking back like after our suffering, when we finally get our breakthrough, when we look back, we want to have the answer of why God put us through this. Oh, I learned so much. I really grew and that kind of stuff. And it's like in the book of Job, he never got an explanation why. Like he just got reminded of who God was at the end of the day. And I think, for us followers, we should be reminded of who God is and not focus on getting an explanation. And it's a long way of putting it.
Yeah, no, I think that was great, bro. I believe it's in Psalm 121:2. It says, my strength comes from the Lord who created heaven and earth, or my help comes from the Lord who created heaven and earth. And your portion when you're talking about, man, being able to focus on him more than the situation, it's tough. We're not saying that's easy by any means, man, but he's the one that can deliver from a situation. He's sovereign, and I think at some point he will deliver us from those situations. Again, just trying to have the patience to hold on to hope to when he does. The thing I love about the Job story, and it's hard to love a lot of things in that story because it's very depressing. But you look at Job 42:10. It said that Job was blessed with twice as much as he had before because he prayed for his friends, which is very crazy that's where the reaping comes from, the act of him praying for his friend. And he was obviously diligent in everything that he was doing, but we saw his friends did a terrible job in this situation.
Yeah.
The Job's friends,
they were like cursing God, yeah.
Cursing God, and they kept trying to tell Job, you must have done this. You did this. Because their responsibility at that time, from my understanding, you were just supposed to dwell with Job. Just be there with him. Fellowship with him. The issue became when y'all started trying to give answers to what was going on. And I feel like as people, we do that. There has to be a reason, especially as men, we're logical. It had to be this.
Yes.
So you did this, so let's get out of this. But unfortunately, at least when reading the scriptures, I don't think that his friends ever sought God to figure out what was going on. They tried to come to their own human understanding and perception and say, like, this is why. It had to be this. Job, just do this. Even his wife, was it his wife or one of his friends that said, why don't you just curse yourself and fall down? And it's like, no, like, that's not what I'm supposed to do. And I love how Job was diligent, and even though his friends were terrible, he said, you know what? I'm going to just pray for y'all. In Job 42:10, once again, it says, man, Job was given twice as much as he had before because he prayed for his friends. Man, like, how powerful is it to, like, be going through a situation and you say, you know what? I'm going to pray for my friends. He was selfless in that situation. He prayed for his friends, man, because they were wrong. And he took it off himself, man. And Job is a hard book to read, man. But no, I think that was a good take, man. That we need to make sure that we're focusing on not what but who. And,
or why but who.
Yeah, why but, excuse me, on why but, yeah, because I know sometimes, like you said, there's nothing wrong with asking why, but I can get too fixated on the why.
Yeah.
And not as much fixated on the who. Which
I just like where were you when I laid the earth's foundation? Is like, that's right, you know. And I think, like, and Job's response was like, that's right. Who am I to question God? Maybe the explanation is something that my human brain can't comprehend, and I need like a bigger being's brain to comprehend what's going on, you know. So
right. Yeah, I would say for me, man, how do I hold on to hope? I would say the things I struggle with is, one, just kind of being impatient, you know.
For sure.
Struggling with the timing of it. It's like, oh, how long am I going to have to wait? It may be because I've already been through things. It's easier to say that I was patient at that time because I already know the outcome. But because I don't know the outcome in this situation, it's like, man, I'm sick of waiting in this idle time. And another thing I struggle with too is like just simply talking about with golf and gospel, something I believe the Lord put on my heart. And because from a worldly perspective, it doesn't look, you know, metric-wise look amazing yet, I'm hoping. I feel like from the outside looking in, it's like there's a judgment there. Like, I've lost my first cameraman, who I thought was going to be with me in the long run, and one of my best homies, like, stopped supporting me. And, like, I'm okay that he stopped doing it because like, you have other priorities, that's fine. But the support that you quit supporting me, like, that hurt. So then I started to question, like, am I even supposed to be doing this because of the outside earthly factors that are going on? But if I truly believe the Lord has put this on my heart, then, like, those shouldn't be a factor. But sometimes they do still sting. And what I've been reading as of lately through my own quiet time is just like, what are some practical things that happened in Scripture where we saw someone, we know they're going to have a breakthrough, but there was like a little struggle in the beginning. So we think about the story of Joseph, right? His brothers sold him into slavery, right? You think this guy's life is done. Finds a little bit of breakthrough. Then, unfortunately, all the stuff that happens with the guy's wife. He's in trouble. Yeah, he's in trouble again. But we see all those things, and from the outside perspective, doesn't look like things are going to go well. This man's never going to endure breakthrough. Ends up becoming, second in command at some point, and then his brothers have to worship. Yeah, his brothers have to worship him. But my favorite one that I was reading as a lady, because I've been reading devotionals on the Bible app about breakthrough, and it's in 2 Kings 4, and it's about like this woman who lost her husband, so her and her kids are in debt, and it's a powerful picture about God's provision through obedience and faith. So she had nothing, but what seemed small to the outside world and useless is actually what gave her the breakthrough in her life. So we look at 2 Kings chapter 4. Like I said, the woman's husband has passed away. She has her kids. They're in debt. And the prophet Elijah was like, I need you to go in your house and tell me what you got. And she was like, man, all I got is like this little bit of oil. He was like, yo, get everything you can with this oil and put it into vessels. And what she thought was like, this is just nothing but oil, was able to pay off all her debt, and then she had breakthrough. The thing that the devotion was pretty much saying is like, man, there's something maybe in your home that we think is too small. It's actually going to play a part in your breakthrough. Now, am I saying that's my story? I'm not saying that's my story. However, it does give me a hope that, man, maybe there's something going on in my home or with golf and gospel that at some point will be like the oil into the vessel and will help secure some things. Because like I said, for me, all I know is football, and then what I've grown with golf and gospel, I don't know much if anything else. So again, I like to say that, I walk a life that's depending on the Lord and so obedient to what he's called me to. And I believe he's put this on my heart. And again, if friends don't want to be with me to see the full fruits, that's okay. But I believe that in due season, and I believe I talked about this in Ecclesiastes 3:1 when he says there is a time and season for every matter under heaven. At some point, we would get to that time. And the thing that I learned from 2 Kings 4, and I wrote this down in my notes, it says, trust God during financial and emotional hardship. Obey even when instruction doesn't fully make sense. Again, like from an outside perspective, it's like, well, this doesn't look like it's going to be successful. It doesn't make sense. And then stop despising small beginnings. And that's where I really wanted to believe in, because like me and Nate say all the time, like, yo, we just got 6 yards. 6 yards is a good gain on first down. Now it's 2nd and 4. That's very much manageable. For sure, we want the Hail Mary, the big shot, the 80-yard touchdown. But like a 6-yard play, man, is a good start to a drive. And every time it's like, yo, we were at 190 subscribers. Bro, we're at 265 now. Yo,
I know, yeah.
I am grateful for that. Same thing on the Spotify. I believe we were at like 20-something followers. Now we're at like 42. Like, I'm not going to say like, oh, man, that ain't big enough. And the world makes you think those numbers are small, but like that's a pretty decent game. Like that can get you into the red zone. But again, like me and Nate are still hoping to score something outside of field goals, man. Yeah, and then the last thing I learned from 2 Kings 4 was prepare in faith for what God may provide. Because I'm not guaranteed, but like let's prepare like, yo, we can outdo Pat McAfee. We can outdo, Shannon Sharp and Chad Johnson. I mean, long shot, people look at us and be like, man, you guys are crazy. But like, I'm going to prepare for it that way. And if it doesn't happen, I mean, it doesn't happen. But like, the word is telling you to set yourself and to believe that those things can happen. And I want to do my part in believing that. I don't want to be pessimistic. I want to be optimistic in that.
Yeah, I don't want to doubt what God can do. Yeah,
absolutely. But the last thing I want to end with, man. So I love the book of Habakkuk, minor prophet here. We look at chapter 2. Pretty much what's happening in this story is there's a bigger, more sinful, like terrible city that God is using to punish the smaller city, which Habakkuk is in, which it doesn't make sense to me. It's like, yo, they are worse than us. Why are you using them to punish them? Like, are you ever going to do anything to them? And God gives the prophet Habakkuk like a promise and says like, man, they're going to reap what they sow. Just trust in me and it will happen. And I love what it says in Habakkuk 2:2-3, and I'm going to read it here verbatim. It said, and the Lord answered me, Habakkuk who is speaking, write the vision, make it plain on tablet, so he may run who reads it. For still the vision awaits its appointed time. It hastens to the end, it will not lie. If it seems slow, wait for it. It will surely come and it will not delay. So I want to emphasize, when the Lord has given us something on our heart, we should write that down. And if things seem slow, run to that and look at it and ponder on it. Now, if the Lord has given you that vision, I'm not telling us to go make vision boards on our own authority and act like, oh, I can make this happen. No, because I don't want people thinking I'm into New Ageism. However, when the Lord gives you a vision or gives you a belief, I think you have the ability to write down like, man, the Lord, because like the Lord's okay with you, like, hey, your word, it says this, Lord. And within context, because I'm not trying to abuse the word, but like, hey, your word says this, Lord. You said you'll never leave us or forsake us. The Lord's going to honor that. And if the Lord has given you a promise or something on your heart and you write it down, you run to it when it seems slow or you feel like you're waiting, he's going to honor that at the appropriate time. And I've always, loved that verse, especially within this context. And because like I said, I feel like he's putting golf and gospel on my heart. And I've been trying to run back to the tablets of what he's promised with this. And again, I'm just trying to hold on to hope that he gives us breakthrough in this, man, because again, it's just been enjoyable. It's so fun. I think the thing that's exhausting is the editing and stuff. But like looking forward to Sunday, like, yo, get to talk golf. I'm excited. Or like when I do golf and gospel, I've never been like, I gotta play golf against this person. I'm always like, yo, this is about to be fun. The editing part is just very exhausting. But like we enjoy this a lot. And I mean, I'm just trying to practice on holding on hope to I'm holding on hope to who it is and not necessarily like the conditions of like my circumstances and stuff. So, Nate, I thought you did a great job explaining that, bro, because I want to make sure I walk that out. But last thing I'm going to say is, man, believers, we're called to trust God even when circumstances look confusing or unjust. And we need to make sure we don't let earthly opinions discourage us from that. So again, guys, man, appreciate you listening to this long episode of Golf and Gospel Podcast. If you stayed through this whole time, you are a real one, man. Tell us what your favorite section is, man, and we would love to build off of that. Like, okay, you like when we have former golfers on, man, we'll do the best we can to get, well, he's still a current golf, to get current golf and professionals on to explain golf. If you love the gospel portion, man, me and Nate will continue to, we're going to share the gospel regardless, but like, just let us know, man. Just affirm us or critique us so we can continue to get better. Because again, we want to climb the heights of surpassing Pat McAfee and Shannon Sharp and Colin Coward and everybody to be one of your media outlets to get your golf information and obviously some gospel encouragement as well, man. But appreciate you guys listening, and we'll see you guys on the next episode of Golf and Gospel Podcast after the PGA Championship, which is going to be very fun. Peace.
Peace.